Hello and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series Division A Grand Finals. Final game here in Division A. I am the Krushinator and I will be your host for this evening, but I'm not alone. I'm joined by Jazzalene. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm super excited to cast the series with you. This is the first time we've actually got to cast together, so I'm kind of excited to just be on the co-cast, sit back and relax and help out.
Oh, it's going to be excellent. We both cast quite a bit this season, but we've never been able to cross paths up until now, but it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Our teams are just filing in now, almost ready to go here, but it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup between two teams that haven't met before and two teams that are just getting used to the post-medallion meta.
Yeah, and these this is Division A too, so these are some pretty high-skilled teams. I'm expecting to see some pretty well thought-out comps coming from them here, and it is exciting. Like you said, these are two teams that have never played together because they're from Division A East and A West, so they weren't playing against each other in the regular season here. So it's definitely going to be a good show tonight, I think.
It should be a lot of fireworks here. We've got one team. Team Happy Cloud has come into tonight with slightly more standard comps from what I've seen. I went over the stats earlier. Nothing too crazy, not a lot of Cho'Galls or Lost Vikings coming out. Pretty standard composition, but looking over at Baby Makers, we may see some flair. We've seen some Medivh games come out from them. Sometimes the melee assassins come through like Maiev and Alarak. So we'll have to look out and see if those sort of last second picks come on through. Or if just the big meta change is enough for these teams to rethink their comps completely.
How have you been feeling about the medallion?
I think it's been good for tanks. I mean, tanks have had a rough go the last couple of anomalies. The tower changes affected them a whole lot. This one affected them a whole lot. The last series that I did, the Heroic Grand Finals, it was very, very clear that just stacking stuns on the front line was absolutely as effective as it ever was. We saw, Imperious Uther coming on through. We saw, ETC with Kael'thas follow-ups. Just, you don't have to be so precise with your saves anymore, and I think that's helping these teams really pick their fights a lot better.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot in the games I've got to cast, is that it's a lot more punishing now. You really have to make sure you're watching your position, make sure you're watching where you are positioned on rotations. If you're just caught a little bit away from your team, straggling behind on those rotations, there's just a big opportunity there for the enemy team to chain CCU, and you have nothing to save you anymore.
Absolutely. So these teams are going to be very careful on their steps. They don't have that save button anymore, but it looks like our teams are ready to go. Before we jump into draft, let's head over to the map screen and let our viewers know the state of this series. Team Happy Cloud banning away Alterac Pass and Towers of Doom. Baby Makers have banned out Hanamura Temple and Tomb of the Spider Queen. It'll be Baby Makers taking us to Infernal Shrines for game number 1. Pretty much about as standard as a map as you can get here, Jazzalene.
Yeah, I always like to say this is just like the nice basic map to start a series on. There's nothing too crazy strat-wise. You can it doesn't snowball either way. You can lose first objective and still get value in else places on the maps. Like, it's so easy just to let an enemy team take an objective, and you can just as easily get as much value out of pushing an opposite lane while they're doing that. So I like this map. I think it's a good one to start on.
Excellent map to start on for sure. I think this is one of the maps in the rotation that allows the most diverse strategies. So it's not like these teams are locked into a specific style here on Infernal Shrines, so it'll be interesting to see how the styles clash here between East and West. We are getting up and running. It will be Team Happy Cloud that is first to act. They did win the coin toss and chose first pick. We'll have to see what their ban priority is, whether they want to ban away some of those dangerous frontliners like we saw sort of pre-medallion, those ETCs, those Garroshes. I'm going to start off with the Junkrat ban here. The repositioning on Infernal Shrine specifically, and the zone control from those traps, very, very important.
Yeah, when I first started playing Junkrat, Infernal Shrines was one of my favorite to go with. If you just went full like trap builds, it made it really hard for the opponents to try and push in to contest objectives. So he's also just annoying now. Glenn, you don't have that Gladiator's Medallion, so concussion mines to knock you out of position. it's something that I can definitely see you just want to get off the table and away from. We're gonna start Medivh band coming out from the side of Baby Makers as well.
It's like both teams trying to take some of the power picks away, the picks that might totally flip a draft around. We've got the Medivh and the Deathwing taken out here. Deathwing, all that much more powerful, kind of has a constant medallion all the time, being completely unstoppable, very strong against those high stun front lines. Taken out here by Team Happy Cloud. We're actually going to see the Garrosh band coming in from Baby Makers, so maybe playing into our theory a little bit about the now ever-threatening front lines here.
Now, from my understanding, both these teams really like playing their Ana and Stukov, so I'm not going to be surprised if we maybe see some healers picked up in this first half of the draft, so they're not trying to fight over what's left.
It will be interesting to see how these next two rounds come out. It's going to be a Tychus coming on through for Galaxy Quest. Now, both teams do have one more opportunity to grab a healer before the next set of bans. It's actually going to be Maiev ETC, though. D-Sheebs and Deadwish. Seen a lot of Maiev lately, especially in the high levels, and just the threat of pulling people so far out of position is really, really effective here, especially in Division A.
And I love Maiev and ETC paired together. If you land a nice bind and pull them in, and ETC follows up with a power slide and knocks them back, you're pretty much guaranteed to kill. You can also do some like really annoying things with Warden's Cage and Mosh as well, because they can't escape the Warden's Cage, and then usually it knocks them right into the Mosh if ETC's in there. So I like the combo together. It's something I've ran back in the day when Maiev was super popular, and I think it can work now.
Team Happy Cloud picking up the Stukov there, taking away a pretty crucial piece of that Wombo combo from Baby Makers. You'll see the Warden's Cage, you'll see the ETC stun, and then with that silence in the middle, makes it a really, really powerful Wombo. So I love that pickup from R275 Delta. Varian actually banned away here by Baby Makers. An interesting choice, as we now see that Ana controlled. So Ana Stukov do end up being controlled by Team Happy Cloud. Baby Makers coming in with the Diva Greymane here. Greymane, an interesting choice. No enemy tank picked up so far, but with the Varian banned away, that does sort of lead into a possible high health pool tank here.
A lot of melee coming out from the side of Baby Makers as well. I think right now there's nothing I'm too nervous about them going into, but like things to keep in mind, like maybe a Kael'thas with bomb spread. And look at even more melee coming out on a main tank Uther. It looks like being grabbed by Team Happy Cloud.
Interesting setup here. We've got the Thrall next to the Uther on the front lines, Leoric on the flank, relying pretty much solely on the Tychus for throughput damage, which Tychus can absolutely do. Popping into that Commandeer Odin for ranged and just being able to step up and melt a tank like ETC. Could be very, very scary here for Baby Makers. How are they going to round out this draft? It's going to be Deckard here to try to deny that heavy melee engage. I do like that pick, and I think we may see a Ruby into so many enemy heroes. Or so many enemy melee heroes, I should say.
I was kind of talking to friends last night about the meta, and it's been pretty popular in higher ranks to run sometimes no tanks and 3 frontline bruiser kind of thing. So the drafts here aren't super surprising. They're pretty melee heavy. You could argue, you know, that you do have a few front lines picked up on both sides here. So I'm excited to kind of see this play, because again, this is Division A, so a much higher tier of play happening here, and these are the champs of Division A East and A West. So these are the best of the best.
Absolutely. The comps are set. Looks like we're loading in here. I do like that Diva was able to be picked up late in the draft there by Baby Makers to try to disrupt that heavy melee coming on in from Team Happy Cloud. But quick load screen, and we are right into the action. On the left in the blue, it is OJ Juice on the Stukov, Brett Michaels on the Leoric, Fade is playing Thrall, Galaxy Quest is on the Tychus, and R275 Delta is on the Uther. It is Team Happy Cloud.
And on the right-hand side, we have Baby Makers with Paper Tanks on the Greymane, Deadwish playing Maiev, Marbuckle playing Diva, Frecklebob on Deckard, and Shibes on ETC.
Here we go. Game number 1 is underway. Looks like Uther is going for the W build, trying to get a little bit of extra healing, a little bit of extra sustain in that front line. We're all still thinking about that level 1 quest. See whether it's the Rolling Thunder for that percent damage and that mana return, or if it is actually going to be the stacks. It looks like it is going to be the stacks going for that double lightning. Is Deadwish actually getting a big pull onto Fade, pulling 2 into that Deckard root. Fade trying to get on out of there. Ooh, but Thrall is going to go down as first blood. So very aggressive engage there by Babymakers.
I think that this is going to be a difficult matchup for Team Happy Clouds. They took a lot of melee into Maiev. That's really easy resets on her, Q for her to hit, a lot of targets to bind in for ETC to follow up with, and they kind of have their combo down. We already saw it. Maiev goes in for the bind, pulls them in, ETC power slides, Deckard follows up with the root, and you've just got someone CC chain for such a long time there.
Absolutely. Team Happy Cloud's going to have to really watch for that Maiev shade positioning to make sure that it's not an easy double or triple umbral bind. Looks like we're going to see Team Happy Cloud work on their left side camp while Babymaker's actually going for their shaman right off the bat here.
Yeah, objective is spawning top, so it's not like waiting until objective gets you too much value. Just a little bit more for the team to have to clear up in the lane once they do arrive to objective. But they could look to grab that and maybe pressure top a little bit. It's not like usually this map you have the altars. If they're spawning in the mid or the bottom, you wait to cap that top camp so that it's pushing during objective, but that's just not the case of what's happening here since objective's top. Do you have
Definitely,
Diva kind of
Diva's gone
go
down
ahead.
to yeah, I was just gonna mention just a good adjustment coming on out through from Babymakers considering the placement of that objective. I do like that quite a bit. Is D-Shibes getting caught there by Fade just a little bit, but Babymaker's able to retreat. Looks like Diva trying to do a little bit of double soak with Leoric right now.
See, the thing is they've left their camp up too in the mid, so they could wait until right before objective to grab that now. So now there is a camp pressuring during the objective phase, and that bottom camp has gone uncontested this entire time as well. So if they have the time, and with a gray main on your team, you probably can make it a quick rotation to grab both of the camps. That would be pretty good, but for sure they're grabbing the mid right now.
Right now, Team Happy Cloud is working on their shaman, as you normally do for this map in terms of middle and bottom placement, but like you said, Babymaker's just taking advantage of the positioning here, knowing where Team Happy Cloud is going to be on the map, and they grab that extra camp that's going to be pushing the farthest lane during this first objective. Great macro play coming on out here from Babymakers.
Yeah, I really like what they decided to do here, knowing that this first objective was going to be top. That is Diva getting stunned here, getting caught out. She does have that mech explosion, but stuck in the silence, not able to get it off. Deckard throws out a root, but does not connect to anyone, and it looks like that's going to be it for that fight. Rotation up to objective happening here now.
Some good value for Team Happy Cloud denying the mech bomb to Marbuckle, so going to have to try to get a few more auto attacks off onto the lane. Looks like right now Team Happy Cloud is a little bit split. They want to find their level 7s before they get onto the objective, but I'm not sure they're going to have time. Starting to rotate up now, maybe this wave will get them 7. But already with 15 minion kills here is Babymakers. They've got a pretty significant lead here.
Yeah, Leoric all the way bottom still right now as well, so big rotation for him. If Babymakers could force a fight right now, that'd be kind of in their favor. Greymane going in onto Thrall here, but stun coming out from Uther catching him. We have the Deckard throwing out the root, and the silence coming out from Stukov here. Diva in the backline with that mech explosion still up because it wasn't popped last time, so she's probably going to look to use that right about now. There it goes. She does get rooted in there, and they are trying to get the kill on her, but not able to find that. Have to back out of that mech explosion. For now, Babymaker's doing a good job of zoning out Team Happy Cloud for this objective, and this is going to be the first Punisher going over to the side of Babymakers.
Team Happy Cloud trying to take advantage of that talent tier lead, but just couldn't get onto the point quick enough, and now they'll be in for the defense. Maiev trying to possibly warp over the wall, but a good split there by Team Happy Cloud denies the engage. This Frozen Punisher has turned off structures, though, enabling some extra siege to come on out here from Babymakers. It looks like they're not going to try to engage under this fort, though, so fort will take a little bit of damage before the Punisher falls.
All right. Team Happy Cloud still just a little bit ahead on XP here, but nothing that Babymakers can't make up for. We do have an invade onto the siege camp of Happy Cloud right now.
Going for a quick steal with that Deckard Greymane. So far, Team Happy Cloud doesn't seem to see it coming. Brett Michaels is going to come up, but be pushed back by Deadwish. Great job controlling the site there. And that's a clean camp steal. Oh, maybe not as clean as I thought. Oh, Delta can't quite get the dismount.
Something to note, I was just looking at talents too. Tychus taking Into the Rhythm at level 4. I've seen a lot of Tychus is taking the bigger they are there. So he's going to be stacking up his trait.
Trying to get a little bit of extra healing in the late game. Tychus is going to need to stay alive as that's their main source of damage output. Some Galaxy Quest just trying to up the sustain as much as possible here. As we see Team Happy Cloud trying for possibly a camp steal of their own. Fade controlling that vision on the Thrall, while the rest of Team Happy Cloud tries to push down this bottom lane. Good timing on that as Babymakers was up taking their Shaman camp once again.
Yeah, I don't know about the Shaman pickup quite yet. They could have held off a bit and waited to pick that up until closer to objective, so it's pushing top. Again, it'd be on the other side of the map, so it would have played out really well for them here. And they need to be careful here. They don't have that level 10 up. Here comes the Entomb from Leoric. A couple members caught in there. Decker Root coming out to try and peel for them, but Greymane getting quite low. Beautiful Stay a While and Listen, though, might be enough to keep him in this yet. He does get some heals, and here's the Mosh from ETC. Interrupted, though. Maiev looking like she might want to go back in there. Does go in for that Warden's Cage, catching 4 members of Team Happy Cloud. ETC going in for that power slide. Now kind of stuck out of position a little bit, and Fade focusing him down. D.Va stuck in that silence once again. Not able to get her mech explosion out. We do see ETC fall, and it does look like they're going to get that pick onto the D.Va as well. A 2-0 in favor of Team Happy Cloud.
A double sustain coming through from Uther and Stukov, just allowing Team Happy Cloud to live forever and ever. It seemed like Babymakers was getting exactly the engages that they wanted with that Warden's Cage, with that Stay Wild and Listen, but so much healing coming on through from the members of Team Happy Cloud that they just outlast Babymakers.
I have to kind of give a shout out to the Stukov as well, because I mean, we already know playing Stukov into D.Va can work really well, but he's been on point of making sure that D.Va is stuck in the silence at opportune times where she would want to use her mech explosion and denying her that, and then allowing to get the pick on top of that. So he's been playing really well around the D.Va.
Very nicely done. It's been 2 mech explosion denies, as you mentioned. Very handy to get that versus a D.Va if you're taking notes there, chat. As we see Babymakers start up this objective, taking a quick 10-minion lead as the members of Team Happy Cloud now come storming in from the left-hand side, getting there a little bit earlier this time, giving themselves a chance to possibly take back this point. D.Va's working the edges. Oh, and Tomb engage, but D-Sheeps manages to get on out of there before the silence from Stukov lands. And Team Happy Cloud looking to even this up here, Jazzalene.
D.Va does have that mech explosion still up. She's going to pop that now. A couple members of Happy Cloud looking to get out of that. But in terms of number of skeletal defenders here, 32-15 in favor of Babymakers. They only need a few more to finish it up. Here's the Warden Cage. We're going to see the Mosh potentially come out here as well, catching 4 members of Team Happy Cloud, and they are falling. 2 members down so far. They're on the chase for Thrall now. It looks like he's in a bit of trouble. Uther trying to keep him up, but it's not going to be... Oh, it is going to be enough.
Looks like we've got a quick pause coming out. We'll take it back to the caster screen here. Tons of lag has been called, but we saw trying to outlast in a similar way was Team Happy Cloud there, but the just engage after engage. We saw the Warden's Cage. We saw the Mosh go in uninterrupted, followed up by the Sleep of Deckard, and eventually even Double Healer has to fall, right?
Yeah, well, here's the scary thing of what happened there. Tychus is in his Odin form, so he has no way to interrupt a Mosh. And with everyone else being so melee heavy on the team, it's so easy for them to get caught into that Warden's Cage Mosh combo. It's unfortunate. I mean, you can't. I feel like you can't not pick Odin though, because without that, your team's going to be lacking a lot of damage. Drill just gets killed a lot of the time pretty easily, especially when you have a Greymane that can just chunk it down pretty fast. So yeah, just unfortunate timing to be in an Odin and 0 interrupt on the Mosh.
Absolutely there. Galaxy Quest has been doing a great job with the sustained damage on that Tychus. But without the grenade, they don't really have much of an interrupt. Looks like the teams are ready to get back in there, as the Mortar Punisher going to be pushing down the bottom lane here for Babymakers, trying to make up this XP disadvantage that they found themselves at.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention too, I kind of gave them a little bit of trouble for taking that camp when they did, but because at the time that happened, Happy Clouds decided to come in for that fight with the level 10 advantage, that camp got a lot of value in top. They almost got the entire fort up there.
That's a good point. Look at that, down to maybe, 5% health there. So ultimately good timing on that, getting some extra macro value. Thrall did end up getting picked off down there in the bottom lane, and we're going to see Babymakers peel back and paint the map red once again here.
Greymane, ETC, and Deckard working on the siege camp of Team Happy Clouds. Maiev starting the neutral run in the bottom here. They have their siege camp to pick up as well. So it's going to be just a lot more pressure in these lanes.
Taking a look at the experience tab, going to be nearly a 2,000 XP advantage just from these camps once this Khosra camp is captured here. So that's a pretty hefty lead on XP that Team Happy Cloud is going to have trouble making up. As look at that engage. The Deckard route is going to be great, but the Divine Shield from Uther is better, saving Stukov for now. Galaxy Quest may not be so lucky, though, trying to get that Uther armor, but down goes Tychus. Now Babymakers, they've got the opportunity to get a little bit of siege in, and let's see what that Greymane can really do here.
You can really tell that Babymakers have this combo down. Like with each of their engage, it's just so... It's timed so well, and they have everything just one after the other, follow up. That they're getting picks, and you can't be outside the wall without someone to help kind of save you. If you're stepping outside of your forts and stuff, they're gonna go for the pick with Maiev.
It takes a lot of experience as a team to be able to not just know the order that your engage is supposed to go in, but to vary that engage order. Because sometimes they'll get the Maiev to engage, sometimes they'll have the ETC to engage, but they're not then layering their second and third stuns or follow-ups. They're following a very specific order, and it's really showing in these team fights as we have a possible invade onto the other side of the map here.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't blame them for this. They have vision of Leoric. They know that if they go in here, it's a 5v4 for now. Leo is on his way up here. The question is he going to get here in time? With the Greymane on the camp, this might just be taken. We do have that root silence coming out from Stukov, though. Deckard throwing out the root. The Entomb is out from Leoric. Bunny Hop being used by the Diva. And here's the Stay a While and Listen with the Mosh. Does look like we are going to see Thrall fall first, followed up by the Uther. They do manage to steal that camp and get a couple kills. Looking for that third kill here, but not able to find it. ETC trying to get that power slide, but not quite connecting. Look at this XP now.
XP, serious lead. We've got a 1-level lead over on the side of Babymakers. And just the way these team fights have going, it's got to be frustrating for Team Happy Cloud to just be going 4, 5, 6 seconds with complete loss of control of your character and just hoping that the armor and the healing bring you through to the other side. But as the mid game has shown, Babymakers, they've got enough damage with that incredible CC train to convert these kills.
I do like, too, that Babymakers, they were around their camp and decided not to take it. So Diva's taking that right now, so that's going to continue to pressure top during this next objective here. Level 16s are now online for Team Happy Cloud, so they have an opportunity here to take a team fight on equal talent tiers.
Looks like Babymakers is backing off just for a moment to try to reset. Maiev coming up from the bottom lane. Right now, we see Team Happy Cloud getting an advantage on those minions. The members of Babymakers are pre-tapping. They want to get in there and get going right away. Ishib's waiting for Leoric to respawn here, looking for an opportunity. Marbuckle on the outside is really putting the pinch onto Team Happy Cloud, but these minions are starting to go down pretty fast. Babymakers, if they're going to go in, they're going to have to go in soon. 36 down. It looks like they didn't get the opportunity that they wanted. Team Happy Cloud is going to pick up this Arcane Punisher.
Yeah, so I think what ultimately is happening there is Maiev and ETC's ultimate weren't up, and their big team fight potential comes from the Warden's Cage Mosh combo that they've been pulling off here. So they were waiting to try and get that up and figured it's probably better if we just defend at this point with our ultimates up and look to fight them after we've taken care of the Punisher here.
Absolutely. Punisher just being melted by the cannon and the fort. Diva puts down the bunny hop on the back line. D-Sheeps, gets massive shoved away by OJ Juice, and there's the engage. Warden's cage is coming on out. Diva not able to put out that bomb once again, but the Mosh going the full distance onto 3. Still barely healthy here, except for Thrall going down. Can Baby Makers continue this engage? There's the stay a while onto 2. R275 Delta all alone. Uther going to get blown up here. Leoric trying to get away. I think this could be it. Galaxy Quest trying to trade out with Frecklebob in the background. Uther Ghost finally going down here. 3 members of Team Happy Cloud are still rolling, but Stukov healing really showing its value.
I think Baby Makers, I mean, that's just the patience that you need when you're playing this kind of wombo combo comp. You need to wait for your ultimates to come up, and that's exactly what they were doing there. They didn't want to fight on the shrine without those ultimates, and they went for that engage as soon as the Punisher was out of their way. And it worked out for them.
Coming up strong here are the Baby Makers, once again in an opportunity to just grab all 3 Khazra camps, further extending that experience lead. And at 6 structures to 3, that passive experience is also going to come into play here and give them a very long time being ahead at level 20.
Yeah, the difficult spot to be in right now for Team Happy Cloud. Is a long ways until they hit that level 20. What they can do is potentially try to look for a fight before level 20s is aligned for Baby Makers. Right now, it's tricky now because Maev's Warden's cage is back up, and ETC does have Encore at 13, so it's going to take him like 1 face melt, and his ult will be up in a second.
Deadwish thinking about moving on to Brett Michaels, but Leoric staying mounted, able to get away from the gank here. With all 3 lanes pushed in right now, there's not a lot that Team Happy Cloud can do. They're down level 20 to 18, so they pretty much are kind of locked in their base, trying to find level 20 or find a possible bad rotation. But it looks like Baby Makers just aren't going to give them the opportunity.
I do like what Team Happy Cloud is doing here, because they are essentially freezing their lanes right now for the most part, so that they don't have to step out into dangerous territory to get the XP that they need to get 20.
Absolutely. Strong, just awareness of the game, awareness of the map. You don't want to be pushing those lanes out to where you have to step out and possibly get ganked. They are going to lose their top keep here as the pressure from the Shaman camp and the Catapult, just too much to deal with. Being down 20 to 18 puts you in no position to have a fair fight. So we'll see whether Team Happy Cloud can find the experience they need and find level 20, possibly for the defense of this Frozen Punisher that's going to be coming through the top lane. I'm guessing Baby Makers are going to be taking this uncontested.
Yeah, I don't think that Happy Cloud wants to go for that fight before they have level 20, so we are going to see the Thrall and Tychus push down this bottom fort here. I'm a little worried about how well they're going to be able to defend this Punisher. There's no keep. They already opened that up. So this Punisher going straight through here to potentially core, depending on how well they can kite it into middle base. So
and now Team Happy Cloud trying to get a little bit of that stored experience that's inside the gate and the cannon towers. Looks like they will find their level 20s for this next defense. All they need is another wave or 2. Leoric pushing that mid lane. Bottom wave is soaked, and that's a pretty expeditious path to level 20 for Team Happy Cloud. This Punisher is going to be going straight core, but at least they're not down a talent tier as well.
I'm interested to see how Happy Clouds is going to approach this team fight.
Looks like they're starting to move around the outside. Leoric baits the Punisher towards the middle. D-Sheaves healing back. Gets interrupted in the mosh, but there's the Silence and Tomb combo. ETC gets absolutely exploded. The quad Divine Shield coming out from Team Happy Cloud, saving a lot of health bars there. And it looks like Baby Makers still thinking about going in, but without their tank, there's only so long they're going to be able to stay here. Punisher has been baited onto the mid-keep. Paper Tank's in a lot of trouble as Brett Michaels just spooky ghost all over that back line. Finally, Baby Makers have to retreat. Diva may not be so lucky, though. The Root Silence is going to come on out, deny the bomb here. Arbuckle trying to get away here from Leoric. The slows are just too much. Commandeer Odin's line attack ability finishes off the second kill there. Punisher will be going down to this keep, and Team Happy Cloud, they're coming back in this game here.
I would love to see them go bottom keep right now at this point. Try to get a keep at least, and you've kind of opened up the map. You have a win condition open up. I don't think they'll have enough time. D.Va's still dead for 40 seconds, so unless they get some picks, I don't think they'll have enough time to end it. But they have a way that they can end it if they win a next team fight. I haven't seen an Uther level 20 upgrade get so much value, by the way.
That was a top-notch ult. 4 members Divine Shielded, and Team Happy Cloud, they're going to try to end it right now. Maiev is only now hearthing back. D.Va down here. Sundering is going to come on out. The core shielding is starting to fall. Team Happy Cloud going to try to steal one here, rotating around the core, but these roots coming out are so difficult to deal with. There's the double Divine Shield again, but a gigantic ult from Frecklebob stops the entirety of Team Happy Cloud in their tracks. And now the full defense is on, and Team Happy Cloud is going to have to settle for 30%. Oh my god, Baby Makers. A quad kill turnaround with that Warden's Cage engage. Fade on the retreat, but Marbuckle is on the chase. It looks like Baby Maker's going to cut off the chase and surge on through the top lane to a victory as they start moving across the map.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous that that's exactly how it's going to play out for Happy Clouds, because I knew D.Va's coming back up. ETC had Mosh. All their ultimates were on cooldown. They had their wombo combo up and available. And every time that it's been up, it's really played out in their favor here. And we just saw that happen again here. And this is the core falling over on the side of Team Happy Cloud. Thrall trying to do what he can, but it's not going to be enough in a race against 5 members here. This is going to be game number 1, going over to the side of Baby Makers. GG's, well played.
Well done there. Great game throughout from Baby Makers. Team Happy Cloud. I think I don't hate the call to go for the core there. The way that game had been going, the way that the pressure that was going to come out if they hadn't gone core, it's always debatable. Hindsight's 2020. We didn't get to see how the game turns out, right?
Yeah,
but
they needed a pick. Like, they can't end there without a pick, and especially when you have all the tools to throw your wombo combo out over on the side of Baby Makers. If they could have got, like, a key component of that, like kill the Maiev or the ETC, and then tried to end it, maybe it would have worked out for them there. But having everybody up over on the side of Baby Makers and them just ready to unleash their wombo combo, I don't see a situation where they would have got the win there. It's just... great. Maybe if Uther's ult had been used at a different time, like that's the only situation, like a really good Uther ult to deny them those kills. But that's really, yeah. Once that was down and they didn't have a pick, it's really terrifying spot for them to be in.
The 5v5 team fights had absolutely been favoring Baby Makers up until that point. Yeah, the pick would definitely have allowed them to fully core and win, but maybe they committed a little bit too hard. Maybe they weren't able to sort of fish for that pick and had to commit. But either way, Baby Makers with a very strong game throughout. They come up big with the core defense, and they pick up their first win in this best of 5 series. Taking a quick look at the talents, I don't see anything super out of the ordinary besides, the level 20 Uther upgrade, getting some gigantic value there. And a Sundering actually coming out from Thrall. We normally see that Earthquake. I think I do like that, especially into, the D.Va and the ETC, just having one more possible interrupt for any funny business coming their way. But any other sort of interesting talents you see here before we bring it on back to us?
Just taking a look here, sorry. The Tychus 13, 16 abilities I usually see those ones a little bit different, but I guess Tychus being the only person to really be doing the damage on his team, he's just maybe looking for a little bit more AoE damage. I don't know.
One thing we did see was the D.Va going with the bunny hop. Now, it's been micro missiles most of the time just because it's great, almost guaranteed damage. But we saw Marbuckle using those micro stuns to just help set up that Maiev ETC combo. Just being able to get in there for free, interrupt some abilities, and really drive home that combination. I do like that pickup there from Marbuckle.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you usually do see that micro missiles getting picked up by Diva, but I think that just the way that they were playing this and their whole comp really being based around getting that wombo combo off, the bunny hop really helped to set up some of those plays.
Very good stuff. Looks like our lobby is not quite available yet. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to a quick break. When we come on back, it's going to be more Team Happy Cloud versus Baby Makers. Don't go far. Alrighty, welcome back. Sorry for that break screen snafu. We've got it all fixed up. Welcome. We are getting set for game number 2, Team Happy Cloud versus Baby Makers. Teams are rearing and ready to go. Let's bring it over to the map screen for just a moment. And I think we're going to jump right into our draft here. As a quick reminder to the chat, Alterac Pass, Towers of Doom, Hanamura Temple, and Tomb of the Spider Queen were banned away. Baby Makers coming up with the first win of the series there on Infernal Shrines, and now Baby Maker's going to be taking us to Cursed Hollow for game number 2. Let's jump straight into the draft as we are underway. Do you think we see any different sort of bans here, Jazzalene, or do you feel like this late in the season it's really just player target bans?
If I'm on the side of Happy Cloud, I don't want that wombo combo to come out again. So banning parts of that I think would be totally fair for Team Happy Cloud, whether it be the Maiev or the ETC. I think probably the ETC would be a good one to go with because he's already just a meta tank in general and compares so well with a variety of different heroes. But they're going to go with that Vikings ban to kick it off here.
Baby Makers have been known to play some fringe picks in the past. Little bit of Vikings, more on the side of stuff like Medivh. We saw that banned out last series, stuff like the Maiev that we saw last series. But if you draft wrong into the Vikings, sometimes you just lose from the start, so I can definitely appreciate the ban there. Is once again a variant ban from Baby Makers. Very curious here, Jazzalene.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that some teams, you know, they run what Not Paradox refers to as like the training wheels comp, where you go Varian, maybe a Tyrande to follow up after a taunt, and then just some kind of burst damage on top of that. I don't know if that's something that Team Happy Cloud likes to pull out once in a while, but usually it's an unusual ban for sure. You don't typically see Varians being banned.
Interesting ban off the start for sure. It does deny that very specific combination that can be very powerful into a lot of comps. So I do appreciate the ban just for the sake of not wanting to play against a particular style. As OJ Juice gonna lock in that Hanzo here first thing. Thing I do like Hanzo for specifically on Cursed Hollow is just delaying the objective. You can delay from a very long distance from angles that you wouldn't normally be able to delay with that scatter arrow. And whenever I see a hero for delay, I think you might be going an Abathur comp. So we'll see what Team Happy Cloud brings up here as D-Sheebs and Marbuckle taking a super bulky front line in that Diablo Urel.
Yeah, like Hanzo, there's a lot of walls for Diablo to use as well here. So we might see Hanzo landing some nice scatter arrows and stalling out for quite a while, but Diablo has a lot of opportunities here to hit some nice wall stuns.
Great map for Diablo, just with so much non-standard terrain, so many curved walls. But Tychus is pretty dangerous into that Diablo, and it's going to be Garrosh coming through from Fade.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Baby Makers didn't maybe decide to ban out the Tychus, knowing that they were going to go Diablo. Tychus is usually the go-to pick if a Diablo's been locked in, just so you have some kind of form of percent damage when he dives in. So leaving that Tychus up, I hope they're not too punished for that.
Diablo is a tank that likes to get in there and stay in there. The auto attack build, even the Flame Stomp build, required Diablo to live for quite a while, and Tychus absolutely puts Diablo on a clock. So a nice pickup there from Team Happy Cloud as we see Stukov and Zeratul banned away. So it looks like Team Happy Cloud is really trying to clamp down on the wild card options of Baby Makers.
For the alliance above all.
All right, Sylvanas and Anduin being locked in by Baby Makers here. I like the Anduin pickup because now you have something to play around when somebody gets tossed in. You have that leap of faith to kind of save them if they can't get out themselves. Mind you, Urel and Diablo probably can live through that. Urel just has to jump back out. Diablo, usually if he holds his abilities properly, if he gets tossed in by Garrosh, he just turns around and cues Garrosh back out to a good side of the fight here. So
I do also like the Anduin as a preemptive denial to a Leoric, but it is going to be actually Malthael picked up by Brett Michaels, making sure Diablo has an extra bad day there. And the Global of Brightwing going to come on through for Delta. Deadwish thinking about a last pick, needing a little bit of extra damage. It's going to be a Genji. The Shimada brothers on opposing sides.
That's, I think that could be a little bit scary for the Genji.
It's going to be tough back there. I mean, going to put out some good damage onto Hanzo, going to put some decent damage into possibly Brightwing. But the polymorph and the stuns from Garrosh and Tychus are there. Deadwish is going to have to be super, super careful on those engages.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried for, is that polymorph. That's really can catch him out. So I'm expecting, you know, at this point though, we are talking Division A, so you kind of wait for polymorph to be popped before you dive in as a Genji, and it's just being aware of when it's used and when it's on cooldown. And hopefully he plays around that and he can make it work for his team.
Interesting setup here for sure. A couple of divers, a couple of anti-health pools. See how they clash. Coming in here for game number 2 on the left in the blue. Fade is on the Garrosh. Delta playing the Brightwing. Galaxy Quest on that Tychus. Brett Michaels playing Malthael, and OJ Juice on the Hanzo. It is Team Happy Cloud.
And on the right-hand side, we have Baby Makers with D-Shives playing the Diablo, Freckle Bob on the Anduin, Marbuckle on the Urel, Paper Tanks on the Sylvanas, and Deadwish playing Genji.
3, 2.
Game number 2 is underway here on Cursed Hollow. Looks like no funny business with the Sylvanas just going to clash in the mid. Taking a look at the level 1 fights here. Looks pretty even, to be honest. Urel Diablo can do some serious work, but so can Garrosh Brightwing. Looks like the team's going to forego that mid fight and just try to spread out into the lanes here.
We do have some questing talents picked up at level 1 here as well. Garrosh talenting into Warbreaker, looking to get his stacks on Groundbreaker. And Hanzo stacking with Simple Geometry off his Scatter Arrow here.
Marbuckle could be in some trouble there. The Polymorph comes out, the throw is good, and Urel, of all heroes, taken down his first blood of the game.
Baby Maker's trying to get some value here in the mid, though, for that kill. They are getting some damage onto that tower, but not able to finish it off quite yet.
See Diablo head up to try to catch some soak in that top lane, give Urel a chance to come on back. Looks like Sylvanas thinking about moving back towards the camps. Looks like going to focus on that Bruiser camp on the right-hand side first. We do often see this on Cursed Hollow. The left-hand side, the blue team, will focus on the Siege camp first, whereas the right side team will take their Bruiser to try to time out the objective, or time out their camps with where that first curse is spawning.
Yeah, so curse on this map can spawn bottom or top. So generally what happens is the team that got the luck of having their Siege Giants on the opposite side of the map do their Siege Giants last. So they'll start with their Bruiser camp, and that's what we're seeing here. Baby Makers is going to grab their Bruiser camp first, and now when they go to do their Siege Giants, they can cap those closer to when objective spawns top, and now you have a camp pushing in your bottom lane while you stall out objective. It's a really good position for them to be in the start of the early game. Now, Team Happy Cloud, the way they counter that, you do your Siege Giants first and you cap your Bruiser camp second, so you also have some camp pressure. It's not as far away from the objective, but it's still some camp pressure that might get a little bit of value while you guys fight over objective.
Bruiser camp in the mid here for Baby Makers, getting a little bit of value before getting quickly cleaned up by that Tychus. Urel trying to help clear away these Siege Giants in the top lane, using that hammer to push the Giants right into tower range. That was easy. And
Yeah, we are seeing Genji.
Genji grabbing the right side camp. Left side camp going to be picked up by the rest of Team Happy Cloud. Macro has been achieved, and Tribute is spawning in 20 seconds here.
Now, this is pretty much exactly how you want to play out this map. Now, keep in mind, though, Happy Cloud does have that Brightwing global, so Brightwing can stay a while in the bottom lane there to clear up those Siege Giants. And Malthael going with On a Pale Horse as well at level 1, so he's a little bit faster mounted speed, so they might be able to clear these up and come up to contest still, but for now, it looks like they're just going to be giving this because there's just not very many people around here to stall this out, and that is going to be Anduin managing to sneak that Tribute, and Galaxy Quest getting a little bit low. Phase Shift from Brightwing coming in, and that's going to save him, heal him up. And there we go, first Tribute. Done and over with.
That Tychus grenade coming in just a split second too late. I think they needed that grenade. Hanzo was on the way for the long-range interrupts, but just not able to get in position. Great job of zoning out there by Diablo, not letting the members of Team Happy Cloud get right onto the point like they wanted, and they pick up a cheap first point.
Just looking at those quests really quick, Garrosh only sitting at 1 stack on his Warbreaker quests, and Hanzo currently sitting at 5 stacks on his Simple Geometry. So nothing, you know, I would expect them to be a little bit deeper into those quests by this point, but keep in mind they weren't really around for that first objective where they would have had the opportunity to stack that. Genji going in for the vision here, Polymorph coming out onto him. We have the grenade connecting from the Tychus, but it looks like he's going to be able to get out of there.
Genji able to move away just in time there, as Brightwing and Hanzo were on the chase. Malthael could be in some trouble here. Brett Michaels trying to warp on through the team, but Marbuckle there for the knockback. Looks like the self-healing is going to be enough. Brightwing warping in as well. Fade wants to find the throw onto Anduin and does get it. All of a sudden, we've got a full fight breaking out as the Tribute is spawning. Hanzo coming on down as well as Genji. Genji thinking about, do I grab the trib? Do I reposition for the fight? I head back to mid lane and try to get their level 8. Looks like this one's going over to Team Happy Cloud.
And Babymaker's just opting to give this one up here.
This map is so difficult to come back on if you're behind in XP. If you give up a significant 10 to 9 level lead and the opposing team can then boldly take bosses at that time, that can put you in a real tough spot. So I like the prioritization onto experience here for Babymakers.
We do have Hanzo going ahead and starting the siege camp of Happy Cloud right now. That bruiser camp coming up in about 10 seconds here. Sylvana is sitting ready to grab that as soon as it's up. They do have their siege giants up because they have a little bit lower of a timer. So even though they capped those second last time, they're up and available to take here. I would have liked them to also grab the giants as well, because that would have been 2 camps pushing during this objective, and this objective is in the top part of the map here.
Looks like Team Happy Cloud, they're taking advantage of this timing. They've got the level 10s and they've started up this boss. They're going to give up a point, but it's not going to be cursed just yet. Brightwing coming on through, and it's going to be a very early boss coming in for Team Happy Cloud. I love the timing on this.
Yeah,
they're not going to grab this point, but they do grab themselves a boss to push in the off lane.
That was a great call. They knew that they had enough of a window here. They're not giving up anything by handing over this trip. In fact, they might even get here in time to interrupt it. We do have the Hanzo arrow coming out. That's going to connect onto Anduin. Malthael pushing up here, trying to find something, but it is going to be the Diablo getting caught and taunted by the Garrosh. Silence coming out from Sylvanas. APOC being used by Diablo now. The Unstoppable being popped by Garrosh, but that unfortunately then followed up by the Light Bomb. We are going to see Diablo going down, not for free. Malthael falling here as well.
Arbuckle trying to move in with those Yrel jumps. Brightwing gonna fall. Deadwish is swiping that sword all over the members of Team Happy Cloud. Looks like Paper Tanks is trying to move back and pick up this tribute as Galaxy Quest trying to get away here. Deadwish thinking about moving in. Thinks better of it. Starts to move back. Ultimately, Babymakers does end up getting this curse point, but the bottom lane, this fort's gonna be picked up by this boss.
Has destroyed a fort.
I think they traded a couple deaths there for a fort. I definitely felt like they were really trying to force stalling out for that objective, but they have now that boss still pushing bottom lane, and all of Babymakers looking to finish clearing up that, grabbing camps down there. So they're trying to sneak this boss here. Yrel has eyes of it, sees what's going on. Taunt goes out to her. She has tossed in Polymorph follow up. She has popped that Ardent Defender, so she is absorbing damage here, but it's only for a moment. Her health bar getting quite low. Lacerates coming out from the Malthael. They do get the pick onto her, but now Tychus looking like he might be in trouble. Genji going in, getting the pick onto the Tychus here. Malthael's health bar looking like it might be the next one to go down. He is on the back line now, trying to focus down Sylvanas. She's caught out of position. She's going to fall here as well. Diablo going in, trying to land that stun. But luckily, Garrosh throwing Malthael out, managing to get the save there. Light Bomb comes out from Anduin, and that's all we're going to see. Both teams backing off now, but a 2-for-1 in favor of Team Happy Cloud here, and they're going to be able to grab this objective.
The reactionary ults and saves coming out from these teams has been absolutely incredible. Yrel managing to pop the Ardent Defender just in time to avoid the Dragon's Arrow follow-up. Garrosh yanking people out of the air, Anduin doing the same. Just a pleasure to watch these team fights.
The Garrosh save onto Malthael there was incredible. I mean, you saw Diablo just going right through, trying to land that wall stun, and he managed to get Malthael out of there just in time. It was a really, really great play.
Looks like we've got Babymakers thinking about their own boss play. Tychus was down in the bottom lane. I don't know if they're going to get here in time. Malthael is here, though. Babymakers thinks better of it. Now Fade thinking about coming in. They've got the level 13 advantage, but everyone is here. Could we be restarting this fight that we thought we settled before? Boss is not yet leashed, is starting to go down. Paper Tanks working on the edges. Marbuckle thinking about moving in as well. They're not going to jump in. They see the talent tier disadvantage. They decide they're going to move on back. Deadwish is going to pick up this curse to try to blunt this boss push.
Interesting plays coming out from the teams to just kind of like set them up for a boss while Genji goes to sneak trip. I'm wondering though, they might not get too much off of this with everyone being able to just sit back and defend the lanes while they have boss to deal with up top.
Team Happy Cloud has spread out here. Genji going in behind this fort wall to try to get some extra damage, but Delta is there to deny too much. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, OJ Juice just defending versus this wave. Will there be any forts taken down? Looks like this top one may fall.
Yeah, I think we
Should
can
be about
expect
it.
top to go down with just where the position of Happy Cloud right now on the map. There's probably not a ton of time left here. I mean, mind you, Malthael has on a pale horse and Brightwing has a global, so you can't forget that.
Recommitting to this top fort here is Babymakers, but Fade and Galaxy Quest are here. This curse is expiring in 5 seconds. I'm not sure they're going to be able to finish this off. Light Bomb on the Genji going straight into the back line. What a combination. Followed up by the Apocalypse. Tychus with nowhere to go. Going to be taken out here. Brightwing falls as well. I think we see that Anduin Genji combo starting to come online here for Babymakers.
Is Malthael getting caught too? He tried to rotate up to help the team, but it kind of left him in a bad position. We saw Hanzo arrow being popped there as well. That was shot from the bottom lane across the map. It did connect onto Urel as she was coming in from behind there, but didn't really help out the team the way it needed to. They're going to go for this invade onto the Siege Giants over on the side of Happy Cloud here. Garrosh sees what's going on, but nothing he can really do about that. No teammates to help him out.
I haven't tested this myself, but I feel like if you take the extended E range on one, you might be able to walk in there and just throw them clear over that terrain. I haven't tested it, but now I want to because I feel like Fade was thinking about it. Right side, we see the Bruiser Camp being picked up here by Babymakers. Tychus thinking about doing the same here on the left. So teams pretty much just picking up their camps on cooldown now, wanting to get that experience rolling as quickly as possible. Arbuckle keeping an eye on this bottom lane boss, as Team Happy Cloud have been known to go right in there. Are they thinking about it again? Yes, they're actually going to start it up, but I think Babymakers is ready for it this time. They're congregated down here in the bottom lane.
Here's the Brightwing phase shift coming out, so that's going to give them vision of this area, as well as the Hanzo arrow giving them vision as well. And they're ready here. They have that level 16 online. Level 16 is not quite hit, and there we go. It is hit for Babymakers, but not in time for them to contest this boss. So this is going to go over to the side of Team Happy Clouds. Now looks like they're ready for the fight. Hanzo arrow out. We have the stun taunt coming out from Garrosh on to the Urel. She's going to pop our Ardent Defender in the back line. It is going to be Brightwing going down here, followed up by the Malthael taken out as well. 2 for nothing in favor of Babymakers here.
They wanted that level 16. They knew the boss play was happening. They got 16. They lose the boss, but they pick up another couple kills. That's kind of been the story of this game so far. So we see Team Happy Cloud possibly trying to sneak a tribute. The D-Sheeps and Marbuckle are here for the defense. Frecklebob coming on through as well to make this a 3v3. Great job of pulling Diablo out of trouble, as Tychus was definitely popping off with that minigun.
Garrosh still looking to finish off that level 1 quest here, looking for those stacks on his Groundbreaker. Phase shift coming out from Brightwing here. She's around to join that fight. And keep in mind, Malthael on a pale horse at level 1, so it's going to take him no time at all to get to this tribute.
Team Happy Cloud, they are at 2 out of 3 points. Malthael and Sylvanas will join their teams at roughly the same time here, and we're now at a 5v5. Oh, the Haunting Wave doesn't get the interrupt, but Urel has to jump in. There's the Dragon Arrow onto 3. Fade moving in with the taunt. Finds the throw onto Anduin. There's the self-light bomb. Not going to be enough. Anduin is going down. Marbuckle very low here. Urel falls, but so did Garrosh and Brightwing. Now Diablo's going to get a soul reset. Brett Michaels on the chase. Can't quite find the Sylvanas. But it's Team Happy Cloud
Blue team has
picking up enough kills to grab this curse.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of ults down over on the side of Babymakers that they needed to kind of survive and take a fight there. And the entire time that Trib was up, Hanzo was just poking them down with his scatter arrows and really chunking them before they went for the big engage off of his arrow there. So it does play out in favor of Team Happy Cloud here. And they've already opened up this map quite a bit. They're going to make a boss play here instead of pushing with this Trib. They've already got bottom fort down and top fort down. Mid fort is looking pretty low. Sylvanas hanging around there to clear it up. But it does look like they're going to check out this boss. It's not going to go over for free. And Garrosh and Brightwing. There's the Brightwing phase shifting in now. But Garrosh still over in the base of Team Happy Clouds right now. So this is a 5v4 in favor of Babymakers.
Looks like this boss is going to go down. Garrosh not going to get here in time. The light bomb used just in case. great map sense coming on out there from Baby Makers to deny that boss play. Now they have got these lanes pretty well pushed in. This keep is going to be going down to about half health. The bottom lane keep going to start to take some damage as well. But ultimately, they save their structures for the most part. They pick up a boss that now Team Happy Cloud has to deal with. And Baby Makers get the chance to move back out on the map.
I don't know how I'm feeling about that boss call. It definitely didn't play out the way Team Happy Cloud wanted it to, but I can't help but feel like maybe they could have got a little bit more curse value in other parts of the map. Maybe kind of pressured more of a keep.
It
was
looked
just
like
weird.
a pretty greedy play for sure.
Yeah, it was just weird positioning all around because they had to have their Garrosh and Brightwing back after they got the curse, so they couldn't really push or do anything without a tank and healer with them. Look at this setup coming out from Baby Makers.
Looking for a sneaky invade. Galaxy Quest is coming on through. Oh no, this is a huge problem. There's the Apocalypse Light Bomb. 2 members completely melted here. Baby Makers with a coy little play there that pays off in 2 kills. They don't have a boss play to make. The bottom boss is still down for another minute. However, it looks like the bottom fort could be in play as D-Sheeves and the rest of the crew going to come on through. Nice polymorph by Delta. And the blink heal to the lane. What a Brightwing god. Not going to be able to save the bottom fort, but making some all-star plays to stay alive there as they're now down level 20.
Urel just working on pushing out that top lane as well. They did send their Siege Giants up that way, so she has to clear those because that top keep took a lot of damage during the curse while they were fighting over boss. So if you just leave that lane now unchecked, you could end up losing a keep. She's clearing that up. Next curse spawning in the bottom lane. Both teams currently sitting with 0 tribs right now, so it's going to be a while till we see a next curse happening.
Baby Makers, they've got their level 20 advantage, but not for long here. Curse is coming up. I don't think that Team Happy Cloud is going to give another opportunity before level 20 for a team fight. Bottom boss is up and available here. Marbach going to go ahead and start that up, but level 20 has arrived for Team Happy Cloud, and they could absolutely come in for the defense. So Baby Makers, they're going to back off here. Or
the thing is neither team wants to really walk away from this boss because they know the minute they show somewhere else on the map, it's a signal for the other team to do the boss. So Genji's still hanging around, keeping vision on this. Does look like Sylvanas and Anduin have backed off to do the bruiser camp over on the side of Baby Makers, but they definitely don't want to just leave. They want eyes on this so that they can deny the boss if the opportunity is there.
Deadwish on that Genji, keeping an eye on things. The boss is going to be started here by Happy Cloud. Sylvanas and Anduin are still working on that bruiser camp. They're going to peel away from that immediately and start to move down here. Diablo coming as well. Looks like Team Happy Cloud, they were just thinking about it, just testing. They go ahead and reset that boss and start to back off here.
Really good communication coming out here because on the side of Baby Makers, they had Genji keeping an eye saying, okay, they've started it, they're committing to it. Okay, they backed off, it's leashed. You could see Anduin and Sylvanas, even though there was just 1 minion left on the camp, they said, nope, stop the camp, we don't care, we're going straight to boss. A lot of times people are like, I'm so close to finishing the camp, I just want to finish the camp before I come. But if you do that, you miss those windows where you could have taken a fight potentially. Do you have the boss being started now by Baby Makers?
Oh, I don't know if Team Happy Cloud sees this coming. Brightwing and Hanzo working on the siege camp. Brightwing is going to come on down here. Hanzo popping the Dragon Arrow. Is that the level 20 ult? It is. Hanzo globling across the map here. There's the light bomb into the back line. The boss just wailing away on Brett Michaels. That's going to be Malthiel going down here. Baby Makers continuing to press forward, but D-Sheeves will be the next to fall. Nice throw onto Urel, but there's the Ardent Defender for the save. Galaxy Quest now saved by the Into the Fray of Fade. Oh, the big red button actually catching Sylvanas. Brett Michaels is on the chase here. Boss has been leashed. Members of Baby Makers are going to have to try to back off a little bit. Diablo down for a full 40 seconds. Looks like Team Happy Cloud thinking about starting this boss yet again.
Genji still was keeping an eye on the entire time, but Taika's chasing him down here. 1 grenade landed and he's going to go down, but not off cooldown here. Deadwish able to walk away. They're going to make a play for these Siege Giants now, and the boss started up once again by the side of Team Happy Cloud. Diablo's still not back up here for another 17 seconds. This is going to be a tough one for Baby Makers. Mind you, they have those giants in lane now. They slightly help a little bit with the boss clear. But I'm interested to see, is Happy Cloud just going to go for the double boss here?
Certainly looks that way. Moving to the mid lane, trying to stay off, well, not quite off vision. There's still a catapult there, but they're moving up towards the top lane. Bottom lane, they still got a little bit of time here. Do Baby Makers, are they going to go and try to defend this boss, or are they just going to, you know, eat it, do the double defense, and get set up for a possible 2 versus 2 curse point defense?
Looks like they are going to just be defending this bottom boss, this top boss quickly being shredded down by Team Happy Cloud here. And this one going to a pretty low health keep.
Top boss has been captured. That top keep almost certainly going down, but bottom keep has been saved. Brightwing going to go ahead and grab this second curse point for Team Happy Cloud for free. We'll have to see. Team Happy Cloud is going to be looking for a pick here. Can Baby Makers get the counter engage? Will they play it safe? It's hard to play it safe with this boss coming in through to your keep. If you played a little bit too passively, it could be the core that's next. As Brightwing trying to make everyone invisible here. Fade trying to go in, gets the throw and the taunt. Oh, but Anduin is there with the save. Deadwish not going to go in with that light bomb.
Garrett just finished his level 1 quest there too as well. Diablo getting tossed in. We have the last rights being popped by Malthael, and that's going to get the pick onto Diablo. Hanzo arrow coming out there, catching a couple members. And the boss is on core now. 4v5 in favor of Team Happy Cloud. This is looking like it's going to be in their favor here. We have Yrel in the back line. Genji there for the backup. Both of them popping their ults there to try and get as much damage out. But the boss still wailing on core, not getting cleared up.
Boss still a little too healthy, 12% on the core, and that is going to be it. Team Happy Cloud, they're going to even up this series 1-1. GG.
Nice to see it's not just a clean sweep in these grand finals. I'm sure it leaves a sour taste in the teams that don't manage to pick up a game here. So it's very exciting to see Happy Cloud on the board now with that pickup there. And we're going to game number 3 now.
Quick look at the stats here. Paper tanks on the Sylvanas. Top damage there for Baby Makers, 51,000. It's actually OJ Juice on the Hanzo, clearing the Tychus damage by quite a bit, almost 66,000 there with that scatter arrow build. We saw, especially in that mid-game fight around the top right bruiser camp, just getting enormous value in that little corridor with that scatter arrow build.
Mm-hmm.
A quick look at the talent screen. Go ahead and get set up for game number 3 here. Alrighty. All right, we've got ourselves a series. We are at 1-1. Excited to see. It's not going to be a stomp. These teams looking fairly evenly matched. Baby Makers looking very, very good in game number 1. Looking good in game 2 as well. But Team Happy Cloud making some really nice adjustments there, Jazzalene.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely denying them those wombo combo comps here worked well. They still tried to do something. I mean, you have a Light Bomb Genji and a Diablo Yrel just ready to dive in there. It can definitely work out, but not in this case here. We had some nice plays, though, coming out from them. We definitely saw Anduin managing to get a couple saves off there. But I think just with, like, the Malthael and the Tychus and having that percent damage, the front line of Baby Makers was so easily melted. It was a little bit of a tough time for the Diablo to deal with there. And the Yrel too, even with the Ardent Defender getting picked up for her ultimate there. There was a lot of times she went in and she was just like, oh, shoot, I'm dying really fast and there's nothing I can do about it.
Absolutely. I don't know if we're going to see Tychus allowed into the next game or if Baby Makers is going to have to find an answer there because, you know, bulky front line was definitely not the way to go in that game number 2. A nice counter pick there by Team Happy Cloud. Looks like we've got our third lobby up and running here. It's going to be Battlefield of Eternity for game number 3. A very different style map than our first 2.
Yeah, Battlefield of Eternity, I always love this one because it's just a lot of brawling over the Immortals, and I think it's fun to watch how teams draft, because you can kind of see a lot of teams end up tunnel visioning too much on how to draft a comp that's really good at race. And then they forget, like, oh, how's this comp going to work together synergy-wise? How are we going to actually win these team fights? Because you need to also be able to win team fights. You can't just go full-on in the race.
It's the constant struggle, much like the Immortals in the center. Do we race or do we defend? Do we draft for the team fight? Do we draft for the race? And it always comes down to the ultimate balance between two. There are some heroes that kind of do both. Li Ming, Malthael, great in the team fight, great on the race. And really just, you know, the off-lane presence is also very, very important here. As wow, they're jumping right into it. Let's jump over to the map screen. Remind everyone the state of this series. Alterac Pass, Towers of Doom, Hanamura Temple, and Tomb of the Spider Queen are banned away. Infernal Shrines was the first victory for Baby Makers. Cursed Hollow, it was Team Happy Cloud striking back, keeping up the series. And now it is Team Happy Cloud that have chosen Battlefield of Eternity for game number 3. Let's bring it on over to the draft screen, where we see Garrosh taken away here by Baby Makers.
Now, we haven't seen, you know, a typical pickup yet that you would see on this map, such as the Raynor or the Vala from these teams. We have seen Greymane tonight played by Baby Makers, so we're going to see that banned out over on the side of Team Happy Cloud. But I'm interested to see what heroes they're going to look to pick up on a map where you need some kind of race. Usually one hero that can race really well is good enough, though. You don't need to all in on it, like we were saying. So I'm interested to see what those picks are for these teams.
Absolutely here. Baby Makers have been making a point of banning out Medivh. It's going to be the Varian once again, so Medivh left open, though this isn't, you know, the most prolific Medivh map in the rotation. I mean, but Medivh providing some value through vision on a very sort of craggy center area here in Battlefield of Eternity, as we actually see Team Happy Cloud banning away the Medivh, so nobody wants to see it in the opposing team's hands today.
I'm curious to see if there's going to be some adjustments to draft as well. Baby Makers have opted to go with tank picks pretty early on, but when race is important here, and that's what we're going to see, is Hanzo locked in first for the side of Baby Makers, so they are prioritizing a little bit more race type heroes in draft order this time.
I like that pick there from Paper Tanks. We saw OJ Juice there for Team Happy Cloud. Very, very strong scatter arrow build. So being able to pick that up yourself to deny the opportunity is a strong choice there, as we do see that Raynor coming on through for OJ Juice, seeing old Jimmy for the first time in this series, and Fade with the first pick on the Imperious. Followed up by an ETC Ana. So Ana finally getting to the battlefield here in game number 3.
Yeah, I like the Ana pickup right now. I think that you know, she can help heal up a target. That Imperious goes in for the stun, but it's also just a denial over to the side, more importantly, to Team Happy Cloud. Imperious Ana can be such a brutal comp to deal with, because on top of just being CC'd, she then follows it up with her Biotic Grenade and a sleep as well, and you're pretty much just like, I can't heal, I'm also just CC stunned, like chain stunned, what do I do now? I'm just dead, I guess. Like
Absolutely. Right now, Baby Makers kind of looking like they're in the driver's seat with this draft. They snipe the Ana, they snipe the Hanzo, they're banning out the Stukov. I feel like you've got to see an Uther come on through here from Team Happy Cloud with this Imperious. To see what they pick here, it's going to be Li Ming, and it's actually going to be a Malfurion coming on through for Delta.
Yeah, this can actually work really well, because you have Imperious main tank. He goes in for the stun, you follow that up with a root. Li Ming is amazing blow up single target damage, and that's what you want paired with an Imperious main tank. And Raynor as well can pump out the damage pretty well. So I think it can definitely work. It does take team coordination to run that combo, and you need to really make sure that you get the pick off of that Imperious stun, because without that, you're kind of left with everything used up and no way to peel for your team past that point if you don't end up getting the pick and making it a 5v4 for your team.
Absolutely, and we see heavy engage with Kerrigan and Yrel coming out here from Baby Makers. I do I think that's a great path to take here, given that right now the comp of Team Happy Cloud wants to go forward. They've got Raynor for a little bit of a pushback, but Imperius doesn't really go backwards. Malfurion doesn't really go backwards. And it's actually going to be an Uther as well. I thought Uther might have been off the table here. But Bret Michaels bringing it in. Very, it's a very interesting composition coming in here for Team Happy Cloud.
Now, I think that's a great pickup. I think that they were probably looking to go Imperius main tank, but with the draft of baby makers, they needed to adjust here. They need something that can peel all of that dive onto their team with the Kerrigan, Urel, and ETC looking to really get in there and fight. And Uther provides them that. And Uther can fill the role of tank here as well and put Imperius up in that off lane, and it works. And when they come together for the team fight, you have enough CC to get those picks and to deny them the engages that they want.
Got some definite sort of engage tools from Team Happy Cloud. A lot of different opportunities for them to go in. See if it works out for them. Game number 3 is going to be underway. On the left in the blue, it's going to be Fade on Uther, Delta on the Malfurion, OJ Juice on Raynor, Galaxy Quest is playing the Li Ming, and it will be Bret Michaels on the Imperius. It is Team Happy Cloud.
And over on the right-hand side, we have Baby Makers with Paper Tanks on Hanzo, Freckle Bob playing that Anna, Death Wish on Kerrigan, D-Shives on the ETC, and Marbuckle on Urel.
Here we go. Game number 3 is underway. Series even at 1-1. Team's trying to pull ahead here as Hanzo getting a quick 2 stacks on that Scatter Arrow quest.
I will say, look at the top lane though. Kerrigan and Urel kind of just sitting up waiting for Imperius to show in the lane to get that early gank.
Bret Michaels
He's not falling for it though.
riding the poverty pony. Trying to discover Dead Wish. Doesn't quite do it. But Kerrigan is going to peel on out of there and head on down to the bottom lane. Meanwhile, rest of Team Happy Cloud using that Raynor Li Ming to siege this wall from afar. This is where Li Ming can get some serious early game value, is using those abilities to move on in there. OJ Juice manages to pop the armor and the self-healing just in time to deny that engage, and Dead Wish not quite landing the stun that they wanted. ETC follow-up was there, just not quite enough stun time to convert that into a kill.
I don't know if we've mentioned this, but Uther did take Hammer the Lightbringer at level 1, so he is looking to get those basic attacks off. He needs 75 to finish that quest, and he's currently sitting at 12 and climbing.
Team Happy Cloud doing a little bit of a sneaky. Raynor up to the top lane. We'll see if Marbuckle take a look. Looks like not for now. Looks like Raynor is going to get away with this, but meanwhile in the bottom lane, Baby Makers do convert the Khazra camp to push down the bottom lane here. Nice little play.
Like
That's a play I like to do on Raynor.
Yeah,
really
and I like
spot.
it too for Imperius because he doesn't have the best wave clear. He's not very great at you know, clearing the lane and pushing it forward. So having that camp there to assist him a little bit, I think plays out better for the offlaner than it is to have that bottom camp.
Absolutely, as we see a possible gank into the top lane. OJ Juice managing to get away from Dead Wish there. Nice little bit of movement. Marbuckle may not be done. Dead Wish trying to move in onto Raynor. Bret Michaels trying to peel away. Looks like Raynor will survive for now. Kerrigan just on the edge of kills multiple times here in the early game. If those can start to convert, Baby Makers will be in a pretty strong position here.
Li Ming starting the bruiser camp of Team Happy Cloud. Over on the right-hand side, we do have Baby Maker starting theirs as well. Hanzo and Anna looking to get that out. It's pretty typical here that teams will look to cap that bruiser camp before objectives up, so it's pushing during objective to try and get some value there.
Camps will be capped here in just a moment. Looks like we've got members needing to back to get their mana stores up and running. It's the Immortals spawning here in just about 10 seconds. Pretty much simultaneous caps on those shamans.
Yeah, I love that Team Happy Cloud. They actually had their camps finished for a bit there, but they held off on capping it until about 10 seconds left until Immortals spawned in so that they could cap it and then not have it anywhere close to being cleared. We have Diablo there taking a little bit of damage. He is able to power slide on out of there.
D-Sheebs almost caught there. Did have that power slide available. Looks like pretty even race so far. Babymaker's slightly ahead. Interesting to see, will Team Happy Cloud just be happy to peel away this damage, or are they going to go in? Looks like Fade moving across the map, trying to buy a little bit of extra time. Brett Michaels moving in as well. There's the stun, and it's going to be the Immortal Stun follow-up. Arbuckle in all sorts of trouble here. Has to use the Avenging Wrath to bounce on out of there. Looks like Babymakers will be successful in their first Immortal burn.
Very close pick there onto that Urel. Unfortunately, able to survive there for Team Happy Cloud. And Babymakers getting that first Immortal. It's going to be going down bottom here. It does look like Urel and Imperius are going to continue to do their off-lane soak while the rest of the members siege down this bottom fort with the help of this Immortal.
Immortal about to lose this shielding, taken out by that Li Ming orb. Deadwish is going to be looking for an opportunity. They've been looking all game for the jump and pull, as this fort is now starting to take damage. Babymakers do have the level 7s. Oh, Brett Michaels has been caught on the outside. Uses the Impale to move on through the terrain. Deadwish jumps on in. Oh, the counter engage is good. Kerrigan gonna have to be careful here. Oh, Raynor has been caught. Nice pull by Kerrigan, and finally, first blood has been drawn. D-Sheeves managing to peel on back as Fade is being poked down by paper tanks. It looks like the rest of Team Happy Cloud will get on out of there. So many ganks, many engages, and finally a kill coming on through for Babymakers.
So a really unfortunate kind of play there for Team Happy Cloud, managing to get a pick, or not get a pick, I should say, in the 5v4 there. Not only did Imperius leave that top lane, missing a little bit of soak and putting them a little bit further behind, but they didn't manage to get a pick to make up for that XP he lost there. And in fact, they even lost a member, giving more XP over to the side of Babymakers. So we are seeing them pull ahead now in XP, and they are going to go for this bottom siege camp.
Absolutely. We see about 1,000 experience ahead here for Babymakers on that minion soak. A little bit ahead in the mercenary count, due to just picking up that camp just now.
Raynor is making that rotation top to go for this siege camp once again, but he needs to be careful. Babymakers, really the only thing up on the map for them to be doing right now is this top siege camp. They're likely going to be rotating here. We do have ETC, Anna, and Hanzo. Kerrigan shortly behind them. They land that power slide onto Imperius and Hanzo, or on Raynor, and Hanzo doing the damage there. Imperius still in the back line, wants to stick around and try and contest this, but his team's not coming for him. Urel has stopped them on the rotation, so he's just going to go down here.
Raynor able to skip town there. I don't think Imperius was making it out, but it's a pretty timely pick there for Babymakers. They're on the road to level 10, very, very far ahead in experience at this point. They're going to get some free race, while Team Happy Cloud is stuck just taking care of these lanes. Having to clear this top camp that's pushing in. Uther trying to get some auto attacks in, but Marbuckle just standing sentinel in the wave, trying to slow down Fade. Now we actually have defensive positions coming on through, but with level 10 about to arrive for Babymakers, there's not a whole lot that Team Happy Cloud can do here.
Yeah, it looks like Babymakers are also going to make a play for this bruiser camp here over on the side of Team Happy Cloud.
Furious just trying to soak that top lane desperately.
Yeah, again, just a little bit awkward fight taken in that top lane. And Urel, I don't know if you noticed the entire time that Raynor and Imperius were getting caught on the top camp, but Urel was just on the Li Ming and Uther Malfurion, just stopping them in the rotation. Like, just on them the entire time. There's no way they were getting up there to try and help out with that camp.
Arbuckle doing a great job of only coming in exactly when they're needed. Able to keep up the soak, now up 11-9 here, as this full shield Immortal is going to be pushing down the top lane, proxying the wave here. Our Babymakers to try to get this Immortal towards the keep with as much health as possible. Could we see an early keep play here?
I think level 10s are coming online here for Team Happy Cloud, so they definitely have the tools and enough burn in their kit here to deny them a keep at least. But for sure, some pretty solid damage coming out for this keep. Keep in mind, like, the only poke that they really have here to take this keep safely is the Hanzo. He's not really known for his amazing siege damage, per se. So they'll get a little bit here, but I don't expect this keep to fall by any means. Not unless they get some really aggressive pick here.
Thinking about moving up these sheeps on the side. Choosing not to go in. Oh, choosing not to go in, but choosing to hang out. Galaxy Quest is scouting the bushes. Uses the orb. Great job. Great job from Li Ming, realizing that was definitely a play on the board here. But sort of trapped on their side of the map. Brett Michaels is clearing these minions just a little bit. Rest of Team Happy Cloud moving on down here. Are they thinking about coming onto this camp? Imperius is starting to come across here. D-Sheeps blocks the engage from Imperius, and this camp is going to be taken. I think Team Happy Cloud was trying to force a fight there before level 13.
Yeah, and that's something that they should look to be doing right now. One of the most difficult things about this map is once the map's opened up like this, you're down 2 forts, you have those periodic katas spawning in. The game is really in the hands of baby makers at this point. You know, all the lane pressure is going to continue for Team Happy Cloud. They can stall out these objectives as long as they want. They can play on the defense side. There's really no rush. It's kind of just let's play it at our pace now. And the only way that Team Happy Cloud can kind of disrupt that is to go for these fights on equal talent tiers. Now level 13 is very close to being online for baby makers, so they didn't find the fight this time.
Looks like baby makers moving over to the shaman, timing that out with the objective. Marbuckle checking those bushes. They've got their 13 advantage. Immortal spawning in just 15 seconds here. I don't think Team Happy Cloud can afford to wait at this point. They may have to fight a talent tier down. Furious, just trying to catch some soak in that top lane, but knows that the gank could be coming, so is going to go ahead and mount up. Marbuckle moves into position. Is going to catch Imperius on the rotation. Oh, look at that. Engage in the bottom lane. There's the mosh pit. Huge impale coming in from Brett Michaels on the side. Is going to finish off Kerrigan. Hanzo down as well. That's all the damage of baby makers taken out. Great find there for Team Happy Cloud.
A couple nice resets coming out there for Li Ming, and they can start the burn now onto this Immortal. Mind you, they have a Bruiser Can to clear up mid, so Imperius is going to make his way up there. Imperius is wave clear. Not the best of the offlaners, for sure. So it's going to take him a little bit to clear that up, and, you know, 5 seconds away, and the entire team of Baby Maker is going to be back up and ready to contest this Immortal. Now, lucky for them here, the burn is falling on the right side of the map, so they might be able to just shred this down. And it looks like Baby Makers are just going to opt to try and get as much of the shield off this Immortal as they can. Imperius, he's trying to clear that lane up. It's a slow but sure thing.
Imperius did go with the Holy Fervor on level 7 to help just a little bit with that wave clear. But even that, it's like, you know, it's like taping a stick on the end of a stick and expecting extra damage. It's just not going to work out so well, as we see a pretty healthy Immortal here for Team Happy Cloud, pushing down the top lane. But with this fort wall still in place, Team Happy Cloud isn't going to have a lot of opportunity to move in here.
Look at Kerrigan's positioning too. She's looking to try and get something on the flank, on the retreat, and I'm sure her team is aware of where she is, and they're going to try and push into them and pressure something here, because she is looping back around now, making sure she doesn't get caught in that bush. Okay, she's gonna hearth.
Thinking about it. Taking a little bit too long, though, so Kerrigan gonna move into safety. Hyperion is gonna be committed to this top fort to ensure its destruction. D-Sheep's thinking about moving right through this Immortal. There's the Dragon Arrow engage. What a hammer of justice from Uther to deny the power slide, but this engage is not done yet. Marbuckle looking for a jump. Fade could be in all sorts of trouble. Did they just split for the Divine Storm there, Jazzalene? That looked incredible.
Yeah, that Divine Storm, not the way Uther wanted to go out for sure. And now OJ Juice in the back line is going to get picked off here as well. It was just, without Imperius there, they were being a little greedy sticking around. As soon as Immortal got to, I mean, it's so easy just to walk past an Immortal and engage there in that situation, and you have no fort to retreat to. They have Eyes of the Air Imperius in the bottom lane. They know that this is a fight we can easily win. It's a 5v4. This is in our favor. The Immortal's low enough that we can just let it do its thing, and the towers that keep are going to clear it up. Again, I just think it was a little bit greedy to be sticking around that long without all of your members there or your team.
Team Happy Cloud does end up paying the price. It's going to be an extended push in the bottom lane here for Baby Makers. They're going to be able to move around the left side of the map, try to interrupt rotations, try to find some more picks here as Deadwish waiting in that bush. D-Sheep's moving across, sort of trapping Team Happy Cloud in this bottom lane here. His level 16 to 15 has been achieved. Stun onto ETC is good. D-Sheep's manages to get away, but there's the engage. That's Kerrigan going straight in, finding the Rainer there. Galaxy Quest on the backline just trying to survive. Uther turned into the Holy Ghost. And all of a sudden, this is looking like a keep combo.
Just that Hanzo arrow with the perfect timing follow-up with Kerrigan and the nano boost on her this time. Just absolutely destroyed them. There 1 second and gone the next. They're going to make a play for this keep now.
For sure. You've got 14 seconds till Rainer and Uther are back on the battlefield. They've got a camp and a catapult pushing in here. Not a ton of anti-wave clear with the Li Ming Imperious. Looks like they're going to favor the Immortal race, though. Probably the right play. I mean, this keep can go down at any point, but getting extra shielding on this Immortal is pretty priceless.
Keep in mind, though, they are giving Team Happy Cloud a little bit of a chance here to get that level 16 and take a team fight on equal talent tiers now at the halftime on these Immortals. And they have Eyes of ERL top right now, so if they do want to try and force something, they're going to go for the camp. So close enough to ERL that if something does get forced here, she'll be around to help out. But still, probably not a bad call to try and do something while they have that level,
same level talent tier. Look at that. Imperious sent to another realm. Completely annihilated by that Kerrigan combo as the nano boost extra damage is so difficult to deal with. Uther is next to feel the pain. And now OJ Juice trying to get away from the members of Baby Makers. Delta and Galaxy Quest are scattered to the winds here. Looks like Rainer going to be going down next there in the bottom lane. Delta trying to get away here from Deadwish and D-Sheebs. Going to be going down as well. Freckle Bob finding the kill onto Li Ming.
These are pretty staggered deaths, too.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds till Imperious is back. 12 till Uther, with the rest of the team 20 to 30 seconds away. It's a pretty healthy minion wave down here as well. It looks like they're just going to settle for the keep, go ahead and finish off this Immortal. We'll be pushing the top lane, but checking in on the top lane, we've got a pretty healthy wave there as well.
Kerrigan and Hanzo working away on finishing up that Immortal there. The rest of the teammates just getting down those keeps. So this Immortal pretty much going straight to core. Not too much health left on this keep for it to go through here. We do have the Uther ult coming out, catching a member there, and it is going to be that Imperious once again just getting shredded. He does pop that Angelic Armaments, but the Kerrigan combo coming out and the sleep follow-up, and we are going to see him fall. The rest of the members' health bar is looking incredibly low. They get the pick onto Uther, followed up by that Malfurion. Galaxy looking like he might be in a bit of trouble here. Fortunately avoids getting hit by those scattered arrows and is staying alive for now. But with a full health, full shielded Immortal and 3 members down on the side of Team Happy Cloud, never mind. I was going to say make it 4, but he made it through there. This is going to be this game going over to Baby Makers.
Baby Makers, similar to Game 1, just looking dominant start to finish. They're going to go up 2-1 in this best of 5. GG. Taking a quick look at the stats here. Tells the tale, 16 kills to 2 there for Baby Makers. Just the combos from Kerrigan and ETC were looking a little bit rusty in the early going, but once the level 10s came online and the Dragon Arrow was there to set it up, it was just no stopping them.
And then throw Nano Boost on top of a Kerrigan, and that's just a terrifying combo to have to deal with as well.
Incredible damage coming on out. Kerrigan, not top damage, but Kerrigan never is. It's always very targeted damage. It was paper tanks on the Hanzo, peppering them up with that scatter arrow build with the nearly 44,000 hero damage, and Galaxy Quest on the Li Ming, almost doubling OJ Juice on the Rainer there with 40,000 hero damage. Makes sense for sure there, just because, Rainer is kind of in kill range, so has to be very, very careful, whereas Li Ming can be a little further back.
And not the highest hero damage coming out from Kerrigan, but what damage she does do is very effective, and she was able to secure quite a bit of kills there in that match for her team. Just checking out talents really quickly here. You know, typically I see most Imperiuses going Q build, and that really helps to secure some of those kills here. It just wasn't happening for Happy Cloud. There was just so much engaging happening from the side of Baby Makers that there wasn't really opportunities where they were able to turn around and go for those Imperious combos and picks that they needed to find here.
Brett Michaels choosing a more defensive-oriented build there, trying to rely on that Raynor and Li Ming to get the executes, Uther and Malfurion to help keep them still for long enough. So definitely not the single target build we often see from the Imperiuses there.
Yeah,
Looking
Ming
over
too.
at the oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Ming too. She's one of those heroes where I'd say she's a win more hero. Like she really excels when you get a pick and you start to win a little bit of a team fight and you win more of it, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
And they just weren't able to find those picks for her to get those resets, so you almost just don't get any value out of having the Ming there.
It's a little bit tough. I mean, there's the dream situation where you get on the clip WTF moments where you're behind and you just get a penta on Li Ming all of a sudden, but I feel like I see that less and less sort of over time, especially in levels like this where teams are just so adept at finding the saves and spreading out and making sure to not get completely comboed all at the same time. So Galaxy Quest was doing a good job there, but ultimately behind a lot of the game.
Also, when you have like a pretty decent front line like Baby Makers did have, it's really hard to get those resets because there's just some really high health pool heroes to sit there and eat those orbs and missiles you're sending into the enemy team. It does look like the lobby's up for the next match here.
We're going to be going to Dragonshire, or as I attempted to type, Darganshire, for game number 4. Looks like it was chosen by Baby Makers. We're going to try to close out this series on a map I would say that favors brawling and favors, the 2v2s, the 3v3s, and the rotations. And I'm interested to see whether they go into the Maiev tank once again here.
Yeah, I always enjoy watching the off lane in this map in particular. Another one would be Braxis, because you have to win that lane. You can't just match the soak and just kind of, freeze a lane and sit back and do your thing. At some point, your team's going to need you to take that top shrine and actually win the lane, so to say, and win that top shrine point so that they can channel the dragon. So I think it'll be interesting to see what these teams lock in for that off lane and what they think is their best hero and best chances for winning that, so that they don't have to worry so much about constantly holding the bottom lane. You got to do one or the other, else you're just giving Dragon over really easily.
Absolutely. Top lane matchup, super, super important here. And Dragonshire, that bottom lane pressure just with the siege opens up an opportunity for a couple heroes that we haven't seen so far in this series, but I often see, at least in my games on Dragonshire. That's Chromie and Tassadar. I'm interested to see whether these teams will favor the super long distance wave clear mages here on this map.
Yeah, another thing that people love to go for here is the Rexar in the off lane. I'm not sure if either of these teams have a Rexar player, but if they played it, this is the map where you want to pull it out for sure.
Absolutely. Rexar still top tier point control, and just being able to put the bear on the point, put Rexar in the lane, or vice versa, is absolutely super, super powerful. We'll bring it back to the map screen for a moment as the draft is starting. Alterac Pass, Towers of Doom, Hanamura Temple, and Tomb of the Spider Queen have been banned out for this series. Baby Makers taking map number 1 on Infernal Shrines. Team Happy Cloud brought out the victory on Cursed Hollow. Baby Makers looking strong. Battlefield of Eternity for game number 3. And now Baby Makers taking us to Dragonshire for game number 4. Let's jump into this draft as the bans are flying in fast and furious.
So Garrosh ban coming out from Baby Makers. And if you just look at tonight's games alone, they've banned Garrosh 3 of the 4 games. In the 1 game they let him through, they did pick up the Garrosh, and Happy Cloud were able to grab the win with the Garrosh on their team. So I think they figure denying them that part right now has kind of led to our victory so far in this series. Let's continue with that. We are going to see that Maiev ban coming out over on the side of Team Happy Cloud.
Maiev taken away, just being able to move onto those points and create and just command the space over those very small fight spots is a big deal. Babymakers showed a particular strength with Maiev, say, as we finally get to see the Tychus ban. Babymaker's not going to allow that to come on through. That makes me wonder, is Team Happy Cloud going to snipe a first pick Diablo?
Yeah, I love Diablo on this map. I think there's lots of opportunities when you're fighting over the shrine points to go for those wall stuns. Same if you're going to be going for invades or fighting over the siege giants as well. Lots of walls there for you to make engages on. We are going to see Junkrat getting picked up first over on the side of Team Happy Cloud. And Medivh Diablo being locked in by Babymakers.
The much banned Medivh and Diablo picked up with no chance of Tychus on the other side. A very strong opening here for Babymakers. We'll see what the response is. Junkrat can do some work against Medivh, being able to control those entry and exit points with the traps and the mines. So they've got a definite advantage there. ETC and Sylvanas to complement that Junkrat over for Team Happy Cloud. I like how this draft is shaping up.
Sylvanas does have overwhelming affliction at level 1 to get percent damage onto Diablo, so they're not lacking necessarily. It's definitely not the best percent damage that you could have into a Diablo. I mean, Tychus is banned, but it is a form of percent damage that you get at level 1 if she opts to go with that talent. I know lots of Sylvanas like to stack Dagger, though, to just scale well into the late game here, which also might not be the worst idea because it's a lot of overtime damage, so a shield from Medivh isn't going to get rid of that up front. But either way, both create pretty good sustained damage in a team fight, and a little bit more maybe to deal with the Diablo with the overwhelming affliction over Dagger build. But we'll have to see. I'm really interested to see how she builds.
A snap pick onto the Greymane Stukov here from Babymakers, just going full aggression with this comp so far. Greymane has been often banned, so it's cool that Paper Tanks was able to pick that up. Frecklebob with that favored Stukov as well. It's shaping up to be pretty nasty here for Babymakers. We'll see what Team Happy Cloud has in mind. Looks like Dahaka. Interesting to see Dahaka in that top lane.
So I'm really liking Babymaker's draft right here, because a lot of the times the issue with when a Diablo tank doesn't work is that they don't have the right assassins in their comp to kind of follow up on Diablo's damage. But with a Medivh and a Greymane, both of them quite capable of closing the distance between Diablo and themselves when he goes in for those picks. Greymane can follow up great on those stuns, and Medivh, even if they're not quite in position, can portal them in to close that gap, or even portal the entire team in for Diablo to then close a gap even further to get those picks.
The Dahaka interests me. It makes me think maybe Team Happy Cloud is going to look to make some surprise engages, some surprise digs from the top lane to try to create some tilted fights, because looking at a one-on-one here, I'm really liking Babymaker's draft. Just, at a clean 5v5, though. Dragonshire, not exactly the clean 5v5 sort of map.
Chat talking about mind control and Sylvanas. I think mind control could work here, simply because if you mind control the Diablo, that puts your 3 stacks onto him to start to do your percent damage a lot faster and maybe shut him down really quickly. And for the most part, a silence onto the enemy team. It's a lot of auto attack damage coming out for Greymane, so maybe not the biggest deal, except that you might be able to catch him stuck in Morgan form and not able to disengage right away.
It is nice to have onto the Diablo, onto the Yrel to try to secure those kills. Let's introduce our teams. OJ Juice on the Junkrat, Galaxy Quest on Sylvanas, Delta on the Anduin, Fade playing ETC, Brett Michaels is on the Dahaka. This is Team Happy Cloud.
And on the right-hand side, we have Babymakers with Greymane being played by Paper Tanks, Deadwish on the Medivh, Marbuckle playing Urel, Freckle Bob on that Stukov, and D-Shags on the Diablo.
Medivh providing the quick passage to that sight triangle there for Baby Makers. Marbuckle just waiting for the jump in, gets the stun onto 2. Nice burrow there from Dahaka to try to stall out this engage, but there's the overpower. That's going to be it for the Dinosaur. Fade trying to get away here. Marbuckle is on the chase, getting to the double hammer once again. Baby Makers doing what their comp does, and that's come out swinging.
To note too, talking about that Sylvanas level 1, she is going Overwhelming Affliction, so she does have that percent damage to help out with getting rid of Diablo. Does look like they're going to make a rotation up here for this Urel, and she just used her jump in here. She's stuck in now, does manage to land a nice stun to kind of try to disengage here, but with everyone still hanging up in this top line, she really has nowhere to go from here.
Take control of
And I think it's only a matter of time here.
Oh, Medivh Portal is there. Send a thank you note to Deadwish.
I think that Happy Cloud was like, well, she can't go anywhere. She's just gonna die. So we'll just wait for her to pop out and kind of keep eyes on her. But the Medivh Portal, they must have forgot about it because they weren't going as aggressively for her as they probably should have if they wanted that kill. They are going to go ahead and pick up the Siege Giants, though.
It was definitely a tough chase as Urel could just hippity hop right over those barriers, but they were starting to close in. They're starting to, you know, bring in the double angle. But
What
Deadwish,
a quick dragon.
oh, look at that. Team Happy Cloud catching Baby Makers unaware there while they were on top of this Bruiser camp. This is going to be an ultra early Dragon Knight heading on up to the top lane.
Usually people like to go with bottom lane or open up mid lane off that Dragon Knight so that there's not really a fort and fountain to fall back to when fights break out over the control point or channel point, I should say, for the Dragon Knight. But it's not a bad idea to get down that healing fountain in that top lane early, especially if you're not favored in the matchup up there. At least taking away the healing fountain denies them an opportunity to get healed up and re-engage and contest you in that top lane. For now, though, doesn't seem like they're getting as much value out of this Dragon Knight as I'd have hoped. They did manage to get a tower down here, but that seems to be about it. Still 50% health left on this Dragon, and it's going to be falling in 3 seconds here. Timer running out on that.
The 2-minute Dragon Knight not getting a whole lot done. I do like the idea, like you said, of taking a very weak Dragon Knight to the top lane to just try to get a minor advantage, but I agree. I don't think the cannon tower is as much as you would have hoped.
Yeah, I think like you could maybe have even just walked behind to just take the fountain out if you were trying to get some advantage in the top lane for your off laner there. And the health of the Dragon Knight would have been able to just eat whatever damage and walk away. Sure, it would have been killed a lot faster, but I think you maybe would have been able to walk away with a little bit more of an advantage, at least there. The bottom lane, that Bruiser camp, the neutral Bruiser camp getting picked up by Baby Makers.
Baby Makers making a nice rotation there, while Team Happy Cloud was busy with their own Bruiser camp. And now with this camp taking, D-Sheep's thrown into the back line, but there's the Medivh Portal up and available to bail Diablo out. However,
this is why Medivh was a great pick here, because those concussion mines coming out from Junkrat, definitely able to save some lives here with those portals being popped by the Medivh.
Absolutely. Junkrat's going to have to get multiple knockbacks with those grenades to try to outpace the cooldown of that portal. Checking in on the top lane here, Galaxy Quest pressuring this fort with the black arrows. Marbuckle trying to turn things around as the rest of Baby Makers coming on through. Sylvanas not going to have the opportunity to hit that haunting wave, going down to the pressure of Baby Makers here.
I just need a little bit more map awareness here from Team Happy Cloud, maybe a little bit more communication from the other members saying that they're leaving to rotate onto you top there, because they were trying to get some value while Baby Makers pressured bottom there. They did manage to get some damage onto the top fort and the fountain down, so they found something, but they could have maybe avoided the kill onto Sylvanas there, overstaying their welcome.
Ending up getting caught by the Urel, staying just a little bit too long. Deadwish is going to scout out the members of Team Happy Cloud on this camp. And the shrines are up and active once again here. Medivh sitting at 22 stacks on that baseline quest, about halfway done. Diablo at 90 souls here, so a kill would be a full death for D-Sheebs. We'll have to see if that gets to 100 for the next team fight.
Now keep in mind, Junkrat able to place quite a bit of traps on this bottom shrine point, so if they do walk in, they'll have to deal with those, either the root or the concussion, knocking them out of position here. Team
Sylvanas has been caught in the mid. Galaxy Quest not able to Haunting Wave away. Gets caught by D-Sheebs, and that's Sylvanas going down once again and handing level 10 over to Baby Makers.
Now, over a full level XP lead here from Baby Makers. They are going to go ahead and cap this bottom shrine. Yrel holding on to top. There is a rotation coming out here. I'm interested to see if they're going to go and try to get that pick onto Yrel or stall out the dragon here.
Yrel
starting
does
the
have
channel.
Ardent Defender, so can stay here for quite a while versus Anduin and Dahaka here. Mid lane, Deadwish is trying to channel. Ardent Defender is used, so Marbuckle has to peel on out of there. There's the Medivh portal trying to catch Fade here. D-Sheebs finding the Apocalypse combo. That's a dead ETC.
Feels bad just to watch a tank get blown up so easily there.
It is tough for sure. ETC certainly not the highest health pool tank in the game, but though the armor can help, it certainly didn't help there as ETC just torn to shreds.
Those level 10s picked up over on the side of Baby Makers, if you guys are interested. It was Cursed Bullet from Greymane, Leyline Seal getting picked up by Medivh, Ardent Defender from the Yrel, Massive Shove being grabbed by Stukov and the Apocalypse, being grabbed by Diablo. Level 10s now hit by Team Happy Clouds here as well, and they're just locking those in as I'm speaking. Couple more to be locked in. There we go. Do you have Light Bomb from the Anduin? Is going to be the Isolation from Dahaka, Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas, Riptire from the Junkrat, and Mosh from ETC here. So they do have a window here where they're on equal talent tiers and could look for a fight. But Yrel keeping an eye on bottom to see if they can force a 5v4 in their favor.
Yrel doing some good double soaking there. Dahaka is going to have all sorts of trouble dealing with this bruiser camp. Dahaka's wave clear, second only to Imperius in poorness when it comes to clearing away a big camp such as that. Arbuckle going to hold down the top lane. Looks like Fade on the ETC trying to guard this turn-in, but bottom bruiser has been picked up by Baby Makers. Maybe just going ahead and making a play for this bottom fort.
If you guys didn't know, just super easy way to clear waves as Dahaka is you basically want to auto attack twice the backline minions while you're using your W. The frontline minions will take enough damage from your minions, and the backline will take enough from the autos and your W that the entire wave will be cleared by the end of your W following. It's very fast, but you add a camp onto it and his wave clear. It's definitely a little trickier when you add the camp there. Big combos coming out here. You can see the Yrel just left dancing for so long and the Light Bomb to follow it up. She's going to get picked off, but down in the bottom lane, Baby Makers making a play here for this bottom, keep pressuring it here with only the Dahaka around to defend.
Yrel possibly just trying to keep the members of Team Happy Cloud up there as long as possible, trading a fort for a keep wall here. Now the Junkrat tires on the chase, but the Medivh portal will get everyone out safely. Yrel now having to deal with this giant wave in the top lane, barreling down this keep wall. I have to feel like maybe Team Happy Cloud came out ahead in that exchange. Oh, Isolation is on to Greymane. Brett Michaels coming around the outside trying to find D-Sheebs. Nice camp steal coming on out from Team Happy Cloud. Diablo not quite done yet, but Junkrat with a great disengage. The trap there just in case.
This is a Leyline Seal from a D, followed up by the APOC combo. You'd love to see it, but here's the Light Bomb trying to peel himself out of there. Anduin looking to stay alive here. Power Slide going out onto Yrel, but over in the top lane, Dahaka getting chased down by the rest of Baby Makers. Teams just really eyeing bruisers on both sides here. Both bruisers able to survive for now. No picks in those Siege Giants, getting some damage onto this bottom fort.
Big split there. Both teams keying onto one, but not able to find the kills. D-Sheebs wants to find this Junkrat. The jump is good, but the silence arrow from Sylvanas is better. Brett Michaels is on the chase. Oh, Dahaka manages to burrow. Frecklebob getting the big push out. Paper Tanks trying to retreat. Marbuckle having to go around the long way. And that's another dragon going over to Team Happy Cloud.
It does look like they're going to take this one mid and open up the mid lane a bit here. Already making short work of this front wall. And that's all they want here. They're going to go ahead and start taking that bottom. They already have bottom opened up quite a bit here. Most of the wall is down. A couple hits from the dragon and it'll go down. And they already had some siege giant damage, doing some fort damage here.
Fade keeping an eye on the edges as the Dragon Knight starts to push in. Still plenty of time on this dragon, so it's going to be able to move in. Fade goes in, gets the mosh. No massive shove available just yet, but the Medivh Arcane Rift is going to come on out. Light Bomb engage will not land on the Paper Tanks.
Dahaka getting caught out here. He tried to come in for the flank. He's going to have to use his burrow there, pop his essence to heal himself up. That means he has nothing really left in terms of survival, so they're going to take that fort and back up here. They are still behind on XP though. Level 16's online shortly for the side of Baby Makers. So they need to try and find a way to catch up.
Team Happy Cloud starting to look pretty good in these engages, but they are behind in XP, trying to catch up with this double soaking Yrel. This Medivh just portaling the team around at breakneck speeds. Can Team Happy Cloud pull ahead here? They do have the passive XP on their side. They are up one structure here, so they will slowly start to catch up there. But they're going to need more than that if they want to find even footing on experience.
Medivh doing a wonderful job too, just keeping vision of where Team Happy Cloud is on the map so that they can try and force these fights on with talent tier advantages here. Level 16 coming online soon for Happy Cloud, but for now, not quite here. And Baby Maker's making a play for this bottom Bruiser camp. But look at this in the top lane. Check this out. Team Happy Cloud invading the Bruiser camp of Baby Makers.
Medivh getting ready to set up a portal, but it may not be in time. Marbuckle thinking about seeing if they can create space. Oh, there's the Arcane Rift. The combo is out. Apocalypse going to catch 3. Galaxy Quest able to be saved by Anduin. The root is good onto Dahaka. Medivh portal, the chase is on. Light Bomb coming on through. Fade with a great counter engage, but will be stopped once again there by Medivh.
Huge help coming out from the Stukov there. Diablo going in for the engage onto Hawka. He does manage to get the flip onto him, and he does go down. Galaxy Quest getting quite low. Portal coming out from the Medivh. Looking to try and catch them on the retreat here. Banshees, though, kind of juking a little bit there. Junkrat does fall, but Sylvanas managing to survive. Fade looking like he may be in a bit of trouble here, and he does fall. That is a 3-0 in favor of Baby Makers here, and Shrines are active in about 20 seconds.
Sylvanas making a deal with the devil, sacrificing 2 teammates for the jukes to get on out of there. Looks like Baby Makers are moving in to steal this Bruiser camp. We've got Shrines activating in just a few seconds here. Baby Makers looking at their first dragon of the game as we approach the 14-minute mark.
Take hold of the shrines.
Yeah, they are set up and ready for this. Diablo capping top, Yrel on the bottom shrine. The rest of the members, well, they were around mid. It looks like they're not in any rush to grab this dragon. They're actually going to grab what camps are up and available so that there's pressure everywhere on the map, I guess. Here we go,
Arbuckle able to
Yrel.
move on up. Grab that dragon. It's going to be a siege camp pushing the bottom lane, and it looks like the focus will be this mid fort here for Baby Makers. They're about to be up level 18 to 16, even talent tiers, but the scaling definitely on the red side here, as this fort is going to go down like nothing. Are we going to see the dragon move to the bottom lane? Going to try to catch up and use this siege camp to get extra value. Not sure if the keep is in play here, but they can definitely get some early damage onto it.
I think, too, Dahaka right now pushing that top keep over on the side of Baby Makers makes this a 5v4 in the bottom lane in favor of Baby Makers. So if they're going for this keep, they need to just commit to it right now. Dahaka already getting some damage onto their keep. So if they don't do this fast enough, it just ends up being a trade.
Keep is down. There's the Riptire on the back line. Dragon is going to just start moving into the core here. Dahaka going to be forced to back in just a moment. Dragon is threatening here. Paper Tank's putting out the damage. Just hanging around here, looking for an opportunity to find a pick. Looks like none have presented themselves. This dragon is going to start to move back here.
really like the play that happened here. They didn't take any core damage, and they just ended up trading a keep for a keep because of Dahaka's pressure in the top lane.
Team Happy Cloud making things happen around the map. Dahaka supremely good at that. As Medivh just keeping an eye on the members of Team Happy Cloud, making sure this camp steal is completed successfully.
They do need to try and... I was just going to say, level 20s are coming online soon for Baby Makers, so they do need to try and force something. Otherwise, they're going to be left trying to soak and catch up for quite a while here. That Bruiser camp up and available.
About to note for sure. Level 19 and a half here for Baby Makers. Brett Michaels shows on this camp. Will Baby Makers think about engaging? Right now, Medivh is hanging out with looking for vision. Uh-oh. Dahaka could be in trouble here. Apocalypse combo. Oh, once again, sniped out of the air by Anduin. Dahaka has been saved.
Do you have those Siege Giants and some Katas pushing in on the bottom lane here of Team Happy Clouds? They have to clean this up. Meanwhile, the only thing really up on the map right now is this bottom Bruiser camp. Level 20s are online for Baby Makers here, so they're going to go ahead and rotate onto this camp. No worries about having to take a fight for it. So I'm sure Team Happy Cloud not looking to take a fight down a talent tier.
Grabbing this bottom camp for free once again here. Medivh just living on top of the members of Team Happy Cloud, conferring much paranoia.
You know what I'm interested to see is, I feel like the Leyline APOC combo is a little bit more difficult to hit because you can't just drop Leyline. And he did take the level 20 upgrade for Leyline now, so the time stop is increased by 33%. So I'm wondering if that's going to mess up with their APOC combo at all, but it looks like APOC not up there, so we're not able to tell.
Oh my goodness, Junkrat's somehow still alive here. Able to wiggle on out of there. Medivh is going to have to try to secure the retreat here for Baby Makers. I can't believe Junkrat got out of there.
He can be slow on those Junkrats.
A great mind to blow everyone up and move back. Right now, Team Happy Cloud, once again, living with a Medivh on top of their heads, halfway to level 20. Brett Michaels is going to try to battle Marbuckle on this top point. Will it be another quick dragon here? Looks like Yrel thinks better of it, starts to move back. Losing a member here for Baby Makers in, just off in the top lane would be catastrophic.
Now look at these Katas stacking up in that top lane too. Yrel having to go back to clear that up. A little bit of a skirmish almost breaking out down here in the bottom lane. It looks like they're really trying to force something before level 20s. Leyline coming out from the Medivh. This time, APOC is up, and he is going to be able to combo that quite well here. ETC getting caught, followed up by the wallbang. Light Bomb coming out from Anduin. Shield onto the Diablo, though. Power Slide through the Diablo to get out of there from the ETC. And now we have the Riptire being used by Junkrat. Again, level 20 not picked up there, and he did go for the level 20 Riptire upgrade here.
Baby Makers is going in. OJ Juice is the target once again here, saved by Anduin. Baby Makers once again forced to back off. Team Happy Cloud has just been unkillable despite these huge Diablo Medivh engages.
Blue team's core is taking damage.
Here's
Team Happy Cloud is
the
looking to catch them out. The top lane is starting to push in here. Team Happy Cloud wanting to prevent the backs as much as possible. Marbuckle trying to hearth. Looks like Yrel will manage to get back here for the defense, but that's going to allow Team Happy Cloud control of the map once again here. Looking super strong at level 20.
They are able to look for that channel on the Dragon Knight if they can manage to find that here. Here's a ley line coming out from Medivh. Dahaka looking like he might be in a bit of trouble, but he is able to burrow and a big mosh in the back line. Immediately interrupted by the Stukov massive shove, though. Yrel is just living in the back line of Team Happy Cloud, though, and really stopping them from pressuring forward to get anything in the back line. We have the portal coming out from Medivh. Concussion Mine knocking Diablo out of position, but he is able to go in on that Junkrat, and Anduin and Sylvanas looking like they're going to be in a bit of trouble here. They do fall, and now the rest of the members of Team Happy Cloud in a bit of trouble with that APOC Leyline combo coming out once again. Junkrat getting stunned by the Yrel and killed by Greymane, and down goes the Dahaka as well. We also see the ETC dying as he split off from the team there, and they're going to make a play for core here, and this is going to be Baby Makers taking the series here.
Baby Makers finally finding the engage that they needed. After much battling, they get the Anduin down. They follow up with the rest of those kills, and they're going to go ahead and claim victory here in the NGS Division A Grand Finals. Very, very well done. GG.
GG's and well played indeed.
Bring up the talent screen here for just a moment. Looks like I'm dropping a couple frames, but we're going to bring that on back here. I'm sure that'll right itself in a moment. And I'm going to see if I can find ourselves an interview with our winners. Go ahead and ping them here.
Taking a look at some of these talents to see if anything's sticking out. Still going reactive ballistospores. I personally like that talent on Stukov. I think it can really be like a, oh shoot, you know, I took enough damage and let me get myself and everyone healed up for free kind of thing. So I like that talent for sure.
Looking good out there. Very, very good. Baby Makers with the 3-1. Looks like we are going to get an interview. Let's bring it out. Let's jump on down to lobby 5. Looks like we're going to get to talk to Paper Tanks here.
All right, I will meet you in there.
All right, Paper Tanks. Thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on the 3-1 and the victory here in the grand finals.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Can you just give me one more second? I want to bring everybody in for this.
Sure.
That's all right. I just posted the link into Discord.
Get the whole squad in here. Group interview.
Give me 1 second. Sorry.
No worries. All right. I think we've got 4 members. We missing one?
She's coming. She's coming.
All right.
Maybe she's coming. I don't know.
Hope so.
We'll give it a moment. It's your time.
It's good. This gives me a second to have my heart stop racing and when to jump out of my chest.
There we go.
Oh.
All righty. Well, entirety of Baby Makers, congratulations on the 3-1 victory. Looking very, very strong here in the grand finals. What's the road been like to get here?
So we actually created this team last season in Heroes Lounge. This is our first NGS season together. We felt okay coming into this. We did. We scrimmed against them and we looked pretty solid there. We did some research into them, what they like to run as well. But it was a year of us playing together, I guess. Finally kind of hit a cup final and win.
I'd say it's like half a year. But no, congrats to the other team, man. They did the research. They found out so many of our comps were planning on running. You guys did good.
Looking very, very strong out there. We saw the Myhev respect after the game 1 looking, very, very practiced on that. One thing that we were remarking on in that game number 1 was just the discipline in layering those alts. How much practice goes into, just knowing, the order of your engages, how you can vary those engages to make sure that you're not overlapping the stuns and the sleeps.
I'd say that's probably our most practiced comp. So it's something we've ran a lot. It's not too complicated with what you're supposed to pop and win. It's usually Cage and Damash. Our support popped off that game with some huge sleeps that really saved it. But yeah, it was good overall. Nothing too crazy. We've run it a lot, so it's kind of second nature at this point.
All right, yeah.
Is the same true of the Diablo Medivh comp with the Leyline APOC? Have you guys run that quite frequently? Are you comfortable with that one? Practice comp?
Oh, yeah, Sheeps can speak on this one.
Yeah, I mean, we've run it a few times in the past. The timing is a little weird sometimes with the Leyline APOC, especially at 20 since it increases the duration of it. But
Yeah, I actually even said that in the casting. I said that the Medivh had taken the upgrade, so I wanted to see if you were still able to keep that combo intact with that increase on the ley line. But you guys did well. It was really well executed. I could tell that you guys have practiced some of these comps, so well played for sure.
Thank you.
Looking strong there for sure. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about a grand finals victory? Looking super strong there in the coastal finals, looking equally strong in this one. I got to imagine that heroic division is in your future. Are you looking forward to staying together as a team, continuing forward, and possibly advancing here in NGS?
Yeah, definitely. We've already had plans for next season. It's actually kind of funny. We've played a handful of those teams already in Heroes Lounge for last season, so we have a little familiarity with some of the teams that are there, and also we're playing in Div 1 this season in Heroes Lounge, and so we're
Oh,
seeing
wow.
other teams as well. So we feel pretty good. We feel good.
Awesome to hear. Fantastic stuff. One thing that was definitely sort of a wrench in the plans of a lot of teams here in the playoffs was the medallion suddenly going away in the later rounds. Did that have a big impact on the way that you were drafting, or in terms of hero picks, or was it more the micro in the games that you had to adjust with the comps that you were already running?
So I can speak on this one. Medallion hurt all of our comps. A lot of our comps are pretty at BCC, so it screwed us over so bad. Like everything we like to run. So the moment that was taken out, it was a breath of fresh air. We were stoked, every single one of us. Nothing really changed with what we run. We still ran it even with Medallion, but it's just nice to have it gone.
It
I
was,
do have,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Jazzalene.
oh, I was just gonna say, I do have a question about your drafting. We saw a lot of variant bans coming out tonight. Can you speak a little bit about why you're choosing to ban that in particular?
I'll talk about that one. I got that one. So we watched their final for Coastal, and they struggled to kill the Mei a lot. And so once they changed their comps over to kind of focusing the tank and stun locking the tank out, their games completely changed. And so we wanted to ban out things that we didn't feel comfortable going against.
Mm-hmm.
That was the variant for sure.
In addition, they banned out a lot of the stuff that would counter it very well. Like Medivh, for example, was usually banned by us or them.
Mm-hmm.
And Zarya's not that strong into it, especially with some of the comps on the run. So we just wanted to get it out of the way.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So speaking on Medallion just a little bit more, do you feel like there are any new comps that you can run now, or new heroes that you can slot into comps now that the Medallion's no longer in play?
So I play a lot of pretty heavy melee assassin. They all suffered a lot from Medallion, especially tank too. So, for example, Kerrigan, I'm just bringing her out new, and she got super screwed over by Medallion. So it's nothing really comp changed wise, but it was super nice. We did practice a couple things that's really good into not dealing with CC, but we didn't have to run any. Or some of it got banned out when we were planning on running it. So,
all right. Any final questions there, Jazzalene?
No, I just want to say congrats on the win. I think you guys played fantastic tonight. I love that you guys have figured out not just picking heroes that you guys are competent on, but actual comps to run that synergize well together. And it clearly showed tonight that you guys have practiced these comps and made them work together well. So congrats on the win. Very well played and well deserved. And I look forward to seeing your team play in next season of NGS.
I appreciate it.
Alrighty. Thank you very much for joining us. The floor is yours. Any shoutouts you'd want to make at the end of our grand finals here today?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Lawlens. Lawlens was the one that kind of put this group together, and he took a step outside of the team and took on more of like a coach role. And because of that, it really let us flourish as a team. It was great having the outside perspective. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to the rest of the team here too. This was a hell of a climb. And shout out to my boy Courtney, Pound Cake.
Fair enough. Shout outs to our team, man. We've all improved drastically. I feel like I've improved the least, and my team is just super boosting me at this point. But shout out to our team, shout out to other teams, any of the viewers out there. Yeah.
Right. Well, Baby Makers, congratulations on your grand finals victory. Good luck going forward in Heroes Lounge Div 1 coming on back for NGS next season. We'll be excited to see what you can do. GG's.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, growth game.
All right. Jazzalene, I'll meet you back up in the video call.
All right, sounds good.
Alrighty. Let's open this up. All right, we'll uncover there. Boom, we're back. Well, quite the series there. Team Happy Cloud, certainly no slouch. They were looking really, really good there through the middle of that series, making things very interesting. But Baby Makers, overwhelming to the end, pick up the victory. Any sort of overall closing thoughts about that series?
No, I mean, I think I already said what I thought was that Baby Makers clearly have worked on specific comps to run and executing those comps very effectively. So well played there.
Really, really well done. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this Division A Grand Finals. It was a doozy. It's not the end of the NGS season just yet. We've got a Saturday night Division D Grand Finals and a Sunday night Division B East Grand Finals. So everyone out there, make sure you come on back for that. Jazzalene, it was a pleasure. It was a fantastic cast. Thank you very much for joining me. When you're not here on the main stage, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me over at twitch.tv/Jazzalene, on Twitter at Jazzalene Games, on YouTube at Jazzalene Games, on Facebook at Jazzalene. Am I missing any of them? I feel like I caught the important ones. But also, if you guys don't know, on Saturday, starting at 12 p.m. Pacific, in affiliation with NGS, Girls Gang Squad is putting on another charity tournament. We will be spending the entire day running a holiday charity tournament, raising money for Marine Toys for Tots. So if you're interested in checking that out, that's going to be happening all day Saturday starting at 12 noon. We have some awesome casters joining us. All of the games this time around are going to be casted. So to start out for the first round games, there'll be casters on my channel, but also in other places. Crush is going to join us as well, and a couple other familiar faces. And then for the main channel, the casters joining us are Not Paradox, Lexia, and Weenus, and myself. So it's for sure going to be a great show. Don't miss it. Come help and support a good cause, and I hope to see you guys there for that.
It's always a tremendous show. I'm glad I'm able to come in and help out the charity. Absolutely go check that out. When I'm not here on the NGS Twitch, you can find me on my personal channel, twitch.tv/the Krushinator, where I'm casting as much Heroes as I can get my hands on. When I'm not here live, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Krushinator, and you can find every cast that I do in a condensed, spoiler-free VOD over on YouTube. Just search the Krushinator, and you'll find me. That is going to do it for today. Once again, Jazzalene, it's been a pleasure. Everyone out there, I hope you had a fantastic time watching tonight's series. And yeah, come on out for GGS. Come on out for the ending grand finals this weekend. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.